Okay, so I am posting this in chat. Okay. Dur 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 dur. Okay. Okay.
Mallory.
Okay. Let's test your timing, Oddshot. Do you have Prince Albert in a can? Well, you better let him out.
No.
That's not.
Beautiful.
That's not what I
Nailed
wanted,
it.
but okay. That's not okay. Okay, that actually works because I'm bald and kind of look like The Rock. You're supposed to hit no.
Don't tell him.
Yes.
Okay, sending you the link.
Fuck yeah, dude. Wow.
Oh my god. I want to try to... What if we try to have an entire conversation with Oddshot and he just uses the soundboard?
Yes.
Alright. Okay, there's the link. Now
That picture is beautiful. That's a good pick. Me. Good job, me.
It's a very good one.
Really sums up experience of being on a podcast in the year of our Lord 2024.
This is gonna be a very shitposty podcast.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna talk about religion the entire podcast. I'm gonna talk about our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ.
No.
I'm gonna read some services from the Bible.
No.
Gonna talk about your religion. I'm all for it. What's your religion?
Christianity.
Christianity. All right. 3, 2, 1. Hello, everybody. Welcome to SnarkCast episode 10 with Norris the Pony. Say hi, Norris.
Hey, what's up?
Okay, 7 couldn't make it this stream. I am Muckney. In place of 7 is Oddshot, whose mic doesn't work, but that's okay because he has a soundboard.
Yes.
Yes, there we go. And, you know, to kick off this interview, okay, so Norris, okay, he is a writer on film fiction. He is a very talented writer. I've read some of his shit. It is very good. Dust Falls is one of my favorite fics.
I don't know about talented, but okay.
Shut up, you're talented.
Yes.
Take my compliments.
Okay.
And I just want to say, okay, so we've been friends for a while. I want to say, like, more than 5 years at least.
I think it's like 7 years at this point, yeah.
Oh shit, okay.
Time flies, dude.
And I think one of the reasons why we connect so well is because we're both equally pretentious when it comes to discussing movies.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's appreciating a film or like really any piece of media. There's just appreciating it on like a surface level, and then there's dissecting the ever-loving shit out of it. And I think both of those are fun to do to some extent.
Oh yeah. Yeah, and there's often times where I see a movie, often like an A24 film, or A24 film, for example, and I go, holy crap, this movie is awesome. Problem is, most people in my friend group, they're not seeing the newest A24 film. They're going to see like the latest blockbuster, like Jumanji or a Marvel movie.
Right.
So I can't really talk about it with them. With you, it's like there's a good chance you've likely seen it, or at least like you're open to discuss it. So I can drop a recommendation and just rant about this movie I like.
Yeah. I like the dog barking in the background.
Yeah, that's Midas. That's Midas.
Hi, Midas.
Yeah. If he gets noisy, I have to move him to another room.
No, please keep it. I literally had to feed my cats and put them in other rooms because I knew they were going to be. If my cats like see me talking to like if I'm like playing video games and I'm talking to my friends or whatever, they get really like they don't know what's going on. They're really confused by it. They gotta like check it out. Yeah, exactly. That's them. And they sit on the cat tree by my computer and they stare at me and they meow and they're really quite a nuisance.
Yeah, mine has separation anxiety, so every time I leave the house, I can hear him barking, which I'm surprised the neighbors haven't complained about that.
Also, I know we talked about. I know we were talking about A24 films, and like films that take a more, um, I mean, like artistic is one way of putting it, but
I was thinking like intrinsic path.
yeah, the films that like have a more kind of esoteric and like multifaceted way of depicting their themes and their ideas. To that extent, are you excited for what is sure to be the, I think, peak of that form of storytelling, which is, in my opinion, the Michael Bay Skibbity Toilet film?
Yes, I have
Yes.
not. Okay, my favorite thing about Skibbity Toilet is I watched a few clips of it. I know it's a YouTube series. I have not watched any of the series, but I
Yeah.
watched a few clips because I wanted to understand what it is. And the more I watch it, the least I understand it.
I saw so many people like on like Twitter and stuff who were like, "Oh, this is the absolute death of cinema. Like that's it. It's over. Shut it down." And I'm sitting here like I couldn't think of no better director in the fucking universe to direct a film based on that than fucking Michael Bay. Like that is who you pick. That is perfect.
Yeah, we had N on Pencil and Flutter Police on one of the last podcasts, not the last podcast, but the one before. Yes, thank you, Mike. That was necessary. You're really adding to the conversation, you know.
What dog doing?
Yeah, fucking killed my train of thought. Okay, but yes, Pencil said she actually likes. Okay, you're getting really distracting, Mister.
Get him out of here. Get him out of the studio.
I'll
Kick him out. Don't give him
I'll-
back his jacket. Kick him out.
I'll try to finish my train of thought first, then move him. Okay, so Pencil says she actually likes Skibbity Toilets, and I've seen a few other people say they actually like Skibbity Toilets. I was wondering why, and I think I understand. A lot of people kind of hyper focus on Skibbity Toilet because it's essentially brain rot, and the thing. Can you please not do that every single sentence? Man, this interview is going great.
This is the best one, I think.
But yes, essentially, people view it as brain rot content. The thing is, that is most of memes, and the thing with Skibbity Toilet is, it's just an very elaborate shitpost, is what it is.
When the film was announced, I remember I was reading like a discussing film article or whatever, and it described it as the controversial YouTube series Skibbity Toilet, and like that fucking phrasing made me stop for a moment, and I'm like, what is actually controversial about this? Because it is just kind of like a goofy, like, I think it's made with Source Filmmaker or Gary's Mod or whatever. I'm pretty sure it's Source Filmmaker.
Source.
It might be Blender actually. I don't know how they make it, but it's whatever. I fucking back in like 2011, 2012, I grew up watching like fucking YouTube poops and shitty Gary's Mod videos and fucking like Idiot Box and stuff. Like that was when I was like 13, 14 years old. That's what I was watching on YouTube. So it's really hard for me to look at this and call it like brain rot or like more of brain rot than what I was enjoying when I was that age. Yeah. So I don't know. I will say it's fucking surreal that there's like a feature-length film being made based on it. But I mean, I think that's more just a testament to how completely out of ideas Hollywood are at the moment. Like that article that I just fucking talked about had like on that article there's a chart, and it's got like the monthly YouTube searches of major franchises like Star Wars and MCU and Jurassic Park and DC and that shit, and it's got that contrasted against the monthly YouTube views of like Skibbity Toilet, and it's like you can't see them. They're at the bottom and you need a magnifying glass to see them because they are so outshone by this fucking shit post that's made by one dude on YouTube.
Oh my god. So what is your well, first of all, I for one like that Hollywood is running out of ideas because that means that leads to more meme movies, like Madam Web or I don't think Venom is a good example. It was another good example of some dumb shit that's coming out.
I don't know. See, when I think of like the state of Hollywood, where it's like we have remakes and sequels and nostalgia cash-ins that are becoming less and less profitable, and what that's like there's a new Ghostbusters film. I don't think that made a lot of money. There was a new Indiana Jones film which flopped. I guess we'll see what happens to the new Alien film. I feel like that movie might underperform too, even though it looks kind of decent. But like what that's doing is it's making people who have these IPs, they really have to fucking scrape the bottom of the barrel. And they're like, fuck, well, what do we have? Madam Web? Fuck it. Okay, make a movie based on that.
Yeah.
We get something that is bad, no doubt, but entertaining. It's entertaining in the way that like shitty 2005 superhero films were entertaining.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. Yeah, I think like the issue is okay, as we've progressed as a society, Hollywood, in trying to keep up with the increasing markets, is constantly having to come up with new ideas, and the pit we are in now is, well, the market is reverting to streaming.
Right.
Yeah, so most of the movies that are coming out right now, they are controlled by corporate entities, and they had to be as marketable as possible. They're no longer focusing on making good movies. They're focusing on trying to figure out what sells, and the problem is they haven't known what sells in years, so they're just losing a lot of money, which kind of makes me happy that the world is bullying corporate industries, because that means we'll get some good shit eventually. It's just the matter of when.
Yeah. When you like, I don't think Disney in particular are doing particularly hot right now.
Oh no.
Which is like, I think they spent billions and billions of dollars acquiring so many IPs and so many intellectual, like they're opening theme parks and shit based on Star Wars, and they're acquiring properties owned by all these studios. And I don't know if they're getting the returns that they necessarily need on those. Like, I think they are spending so much money on these theme parks that are not having the viewer or the attendance that they need to be profitable. I'm really fucking hoping that that's going to force them into a new renaissance where they have no choice but to start coming up with new ideas, because that happened to them before, where they kind of went into a slump and they stopped doing new ideas and they coasted off their own reputation, and eventually it caved and they had to start innovating and start pumping out something new. And that's what happened in the 90s, and that's why we got like Lion King and stuff. I'm really fucking hoping we're approaching that sort of. I
am unsure about that, because I've thought about that too. But the thing is, Disney has grown so much. They bought out so many companies that killing them off would be very, very, very difficult. So there's a chance, like, even though they're losing money, they're still making more money than they're losing. So I don't see them learning from their lesson. Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, especially when you have like a back catalog of like, oh, we have the 12 good seasons of The Simpsons, and we have Futurama, and we have these old sitcoms that have wrapped up and they're over, and everyone can always go back and watch them. And they have a streaming service where it's very convenient to go back and watch these older properties that are evergreen. They're always good, right? Like, you can always watch these and they're always going to be good. And now that they own those, they're just theirs forever, and it's a money pit that they don't have to do anything to keep.
people are slowly starting to realize that like Andor is the most the most popular sorry, not the most popular, but like they're slowly starting to realize that Andor is good. I've only watched like an episode or two, but like what I hear is like one of the best sci-fi shows right now. It like not just as a Star Wars property, but in general sci-fi. I'm just waiting for Disney to realize how much of a cash grab it is, and just have them take it over. That's my biggest worry about if I ever get into that show.
Well, I felt that kind of happened with Mandalorian, where like Mandalorian as well was very good for its first 2 seasons, and then the third season it fell off a fucking cliff. But Andor in specifically was like, I haven't seen it myself, but I've seen clips of it. I've seen production images of it. In terms of like the set design and the props and how that is made with a lot of practical effects and a lot of intricate set design, it is very well made. Like it's made with the intricacy that like the original trilogy was, and that's cool. It's cool to see that, and I think that's kind of the other side of what you get with these huge mega budget projects.
Oh yeah. Yeah, the director of that show also made Rogue One. It's kind of known as like one of the least favorite of the modern Star Wars movies. It was respected for its time, but going back to it, even acknowledging like that the story is boring, there are things to appreciate about it, like how the director wanted that very 70s look, so matched up with the original trilogy. So like there's all sorts of like these like intrinsic details woven in to make it look Star Wars. So you can tell it was somebody, so the person working on it deeply cared about what they were making, which was refreshing to have for a change, which I think deserves to be appreciated more, which makes me glad that they're now working on Andor, where like, and like you can tell like Disney didn't think it would be successful, so they're basically allowed to do whatever the hell they want with it, and it led to some awesome stuff. There are sex scenes. They have sex scenes in Star Wars. It's awesome.
I need to be clear. I'm not crazy about Star Wars. Like Star Wars is just kind of a franchise that I've always like. It's been in the background for me. I grew up watching the original trilogy. I had like the VHS like trilogy that was.
Oh, nice.
I think, to my knowledge, I think that is the last commercial release of the original trilogy before George Lucas went and did the, special edition stuff. I might be wrong about that.
I think
but
you're right.
I'm pretty sure that is the last time that they were, which fucking blows my mind, by the way. It blows my mind that it's like 2024 and Disney have owned this property for a decade now, and we still have not gotten a high resolution 4K HD release of the original trilogy. I don't know why. I assume maybe there's some shit in George Lucas's contract. Anyways, yeah, no, I grew up with those films, and I have like vague memories of seeing episode 3 in the theaters, because that would have come out in like 2005. But like for the most part, Star Wars was something I was a little bit excited for it in 2015, and then Force Awakens came out, and it's like, that was decent. We'll see where they go with that. And then they went off a cliff into an erupting volcano.
I think they did great.
And now I'm like, I don't care much about Star Wars, but Star Wars is still interesting to me because it is kind of the hubris of modern Hollywood in a microcosm. Like it is the prime fucking nostalgia bait franchise more than any other. And it seems like a lot of mistakes that Star Wars makes are mistakes that other franchises then also make. So, like, Star Wars is always in the conversation because it is the most, like, culturally relevant culture film franchise, I think. I might be off the base with that, but I think that's accurate.
Yeah, I think it is.
Like, I think the MCU was that briefly, and then after Endgame happened, it stopped being that. Like, there was a brief period where the MCU might have been more popular than Star Wars, but that kind of stopped happening.
Well, believe it or not, I watched Deadpool 3 in theaters, which surprisingly I've seen all 3 Deadpool movies in theaters. I didn't intend for that to happen, but okay. Despite my issues with it, like the constant fourth wall jokes not landing, there is an intelligent dissection of Marvel movies within that movies. It's kind of a satire of Marvel in of itself, even though it's being integrated into the MCU. And one of the core elements of the plot is that Deadpool's world is dying because Logan died. He was the core character of that. So like there's this meta commentary going on that Marvel really started to die after Logan. Yeah.
Which they did, by the way. That's just true.
Yeah. So like it was just surprising to have that in a Deadpool movie.
Yeah. I have not seen a single Deadpool movie, I think. I don't think I've seen any of them. And puts on sunglasses. Yeah, I haven't seen Deadpool. It's just not for me.
Deadpool is one of those movies I can only recommend to people who just want some dumb entertainment. That's all I can say about Deadpool. The fourth wall jokes. Okay, yeah, they are part of his character. They might be executed better in the comics, but in the movies, it can be really obnoxious because it shows self-awareness without the cleverness of being self-aware. So it's essentially, yeah, we know we're marketing to you, so we're just going to keep doing the same shit we always do, but we're going to tell you we know, which has never landed with me.
Yeah, that's like funny for the first time, but you can't keep that joke going past the first. Like it's funny when I hear it for the first time, and then every time after that, it's like, okay, get better material.
Yeah.
When all you can do is like reference yourself, you're not actually saying anything. You're just referencing yourself. You're not giving me anything to take away.
Yeah. I would still say Deadpool 3 is like very entertaining because like when you take there is like a few fourth wall jokes that are good. Like there's a part where after like the plot gets kickstarted, Deadpool just runs up to the camera, grabs the boom mic, says something in the microphone, and just headbutts the camera. That was pretty funny. The entire theater laughed.
Yes.
Yes. The fight scenes are actually really good. There's at least 2 fight scenes between Deadpool and Wolverine. And there's actually a shot in the movie that reminded me of Oldboy, the hallway fight scene. Yeah, when they had to fight like off this entire army, is done in a single take, and it is actually really well choreographed, and there's like a lot of comedy in it. It's just really well done.
Nice. Yeah,
there's also, and this is a minor spoiler, it's just spoiling a cameo. They got Chris Evans for the movie, and the way they show him in the film is they pretend he's Captain America at first, but it turns out he's the Human Torch, and it was actually really clever to include him like that because he played the Human Torch in the original two I was going to say Avengers, Fantastic Four movies. The ones,
okay.
Yeah, the ones from the 2000s. And it's like that. Like, there's a lot of cameos in the movies, but they're all meant to parody celebrity cameos. And they don't directly address it, which I appreciate.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's all the good things I can say about Deadpool. Also, Taylor Lautner is in there and he plays Gambit, and they bring back Blade, which I don't know. I hope they do something with that because I would love to see like a rated R Blade movie in modern times. I think that'd be awesome.
It's been a long ass time since we've gotten a Blade movie.
Yeah. What was the actor's name? I remember for Blade 3, and this is like shit I heard on a podcast. There was a lot of drama going on with the actor. It turns out he was a pretentious asshole, and he didn't like he didn't agree with the director on certain things. So there's a scene in Blade 3 where he's on an autopsy table and he refused to open his eyes for the scene, so they had to like CGI his eyes to open. Yeah. And there's another thing, he didn't pay his taxes.
Wesley Snipes, that's right.
Yes, Wesley Snipes, he didn't pay his taxes. He got in trouble by the IRS for that. And his claim against paying taxes was that he was a sovereign citizen.
That's fucking based. Good for him.
Yeah, fucking
go get him, Wesley.
Go get him. I think the claim was because like I don't know if it was this specifically. Okay, so do not take my word for it, because I do not like shit talking people unless like I have like the proper evidence behind their words to back what I say. But I think his claim was like he was a Hollywood actor, so that's what made him a sovereign citizen. I do not think that's what it was, but that's what my mind jumps to.
Okay, I mean, fuck it.
Okay.
Yeah. Blade, by the way, is like, because we were just talking about like them making another Blade or potentially remaking Blade, and it made me think of The Crow. I don't know if you've seen. I don't know if you've seen The Crow or not.
I know the story behind it, and I think it's very disrespectful that they're doing a remake.
Oh, me too. For like a few reasons, and I'm gonna get into them because I got some shit to say about Blade that kind of reflects on The Crow too. But Blade is very much a film that is of its era. That is to say, it's a '90s film. It's dated, sure, but like I think that's a good thing. Like it is so fucking rooted in '90s like goth and punk culture that you can't take that movie out of its era. It belongs right where it is. And The Crow is the same thing. That is such a '90s film. You listen to the soundtrack, and the soundtrack is like Sisters of Mercy and Nine Inch Nails and Joy Division. It's all these fucking like '90s goth bands, and it fits. It's perfect. It's dated, but like you're watching a '90s comic book movie. Of course, it's going to be dated. And then I saw when I went to see Furiosa, they had the preview for the Crow remake. And it looks like the most like it doesn't look terrible. It just looks really like soulless. Like it doesn't look unique. It doesn't look like it has its own identity. It doesn't look visually interesting, which is I think the greatest strength of the original The Crow was that it has such a distinct visual identity to it. It really does look like a comic book movie. Like the colors are really, really bright. The set design is like it's really obvious. Like every time it pans out and you see the city, it looks like a model.
So it's trying to be a Marvel movie.
Yeah, and then the new one just looks like it looks like it's both trying to be darker and more realistic, but like because it's doing that, it just looks like every other movie. It doesn't look special.
Oh god.
The music is dreadful. And when you have a film that is so carried by its musical score and by these songs that add so much weight to the film and to the scenes they're used, and then this new film doesn't look like it's trying to do any of that. It's like, why are you remaking it then? Why are you remaking this film if you don't intend to keep any of the factors that made it work in the first place?
Yeah, it's just a clear cash grab on the movie's legacy is what it is. Like people who remember The Crow, they remember the actor who died on set. They're going to remember that, and they're going to go, oh, they're doing a remake, I should go see that. They know what they're doing, and it's just fucking shitty.
Yeah, and for that one, it doesn't work. Because, like, when that's the nostalgia they're going for, people are going to be like, oh, they're really making a film that's based on that film where the dude fucking died making it? That comes across as very disrespectful.
What was the actor's name?
Brandon Lee. He was Bruce Lee's son, I think.
Okay, so to catch up to people in the audience who don't know, okay, so during the shooting of The Crow, there was a scene where Brandon Lee was supposed to get shot, and the propaganda they used blanks, here's a fun fact: blanks can still kill you. It depends. I don't know the exact details, but I think like if the gun is used enough times, when they get to the round with the blank, if enough energy is carried within the round, it can still fire a fatal shot, and that is what happened.
I think basically that's basically what happened. Like, I'm pretty sure I might be completely off the mark on this, but I'm pretty sure what happened was, like, the blank got lodged in the cylinder of the gun, and it was still in the cylinder of the gun, and they didn't know. And so when they shot the gun, because a blank still, it still fires in many ways like a real gun. Like, there's still a expulsion of energy, and that basically just propelled the blank like it was a bullet. And so I'm pretty sure that's what happened. I might be wrong about that, but
I think on the topic of remakes, I think a Knight Rider remake would actually work very well because
fucking A, yeah.
Yeah, because that I have not seen that show, but I know it predicted a lot of where culture was heading with the technology. And given that, like, we kind of live in this time of AI and movie remakes, I can see it being a sort of meta commentary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think that could be fun too.
Oh yeah.
Have David Hasselhoff as the voice of Kit. He could just voice the car instead of being the Hoff.
That would actually be a good idea. Yeah. If they ever do a remake, they got to bring him in as the car. That'd be awesome. Yeah, that's what they did with the Resident Evil 4 remake. They got the original actor for Leon to do the voice of the merchant.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Kind of still on the topic of the movies we've been talking about for a while. And eventually we're going to get to questions. Do you have any movie recommendations for people listening?
I mean, it's kind of hard to recommend films based on like lack of. Yeah, the thing is
the things you like, just the things you like.
I mean, The Thing, gun to my head, is my favorite film of all time. I have seen that film countless times, and every time I see it, I enjoy something new about it. It is such a like intricately made film, but it also like. It also feels like the people who on set had a fucking blast making it at the same time. And I think that's true of every John Carpenter film. Like, every film that dude makes, it's like he just got he's like Adam Sandler, but if Adam Sandler made fucking weirdo shit, where he just gets a bunch of his buddies together and they go out and they make a fucking cinematic masterpiece. But yeah, no, The Thing, if you have not seen the 1982 remake of The Thing specifically, fucking watch it. It is the best horror film of all time.
Oh yeah, a lot of people don't know that the John Carpenter's The Thing is actually a remake.
Yeah, it's actually more faithful to the source material, funnily enough.
Yeah, and then there's that. Hopefully, I don't butcher this name. Robert Ebert. Was that right? Egbert.
Roger Ebert is correct.
Yeah, I always forget if there's a G in the last name or not. He did a review of the movie. He shit on the movie because there's nothing substantial about it. It was just a complete gore fest. And then he referenced the original movie and talked about how deep its themes were.
I mean, I don't think the original film is terrible, but I think the John Carpenter film is better.
Yeah.
You gotta also keep in mind, and I do feel bad that the Thing got panned when it was released. But then you look at the films that came out, like, opening weekend, The Thing was like the best fucking opening weekend for films in, I think, ever. I think that is the best fucking opening weekend in fucking film history. Because, like, Blade Runner came out that weekend, Tron came out that weekend, Poltergeist came out that weekend, E.T. came out that weekend, Star Trek Wrath of Khan. Like, it was such a good fucking year for movies that it's like, oh, The Thing got critically panned at release. Okay, it was like one of 5 masterpieces that came out that weekend. No fucking wonder.
Jesus. They couldn't say for a Halloween release, or did they?
I think it came out in the summertime.
Yeah, they could have. They could have just slated it for a Halloween release. I think it would perform better.
Yeah, it came out in June 25th, 1982. By the way, if you're listening to this and you do like The Thing, and you're like, hi, I want a movie that reminds me of The Thing, that I might not have heard about, watch The Void. I think it came out in like 2016. It is a low budget film. I think it was made with $10,000, and it is the best looking low budget film I think I can think of. Like, it looks fucking fantastic. The effects are amazing. It's terrifying. The creature effects are really, really good, and it's like it's a Lovecraft film in all but name, where it's like it doesn't directly reflect anything Lovecraftian, but it is as Lovecraft as you can possibly get. It's probably my favorite like modern horror film.
Ooh.
I really like The Void.
I'm trying to think of my favorite modern horror films without jumping to the obvious. I really liked Hereditary.
Hereditary is so good.
Yeah, my parents, they're I don't know if they've done it yet, but they're supposed to go see Longlegs because my mom just really likes Nicolas Cage as an actor.
Oh, same.
And I was thinking of if he likes Longlegs, I was thinking of showing my dad Hereditary. Trying to think of other horror movies. Beau is Afraid. Same from the same director as Hereditary. I've been meaning to show you that one because I want your thoughts on that one, or just like in general, if you ever watch it, I would definitely like your thoughts on that one. But yeah, I know that is a mixed bag with some people because it is a horror comedy, and there are times in the movies where people claim it doesn't mix well.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of movies in general though. Under the Silver Lake is an obvious go-to movie for me because every time I watch that movie, there's just so much to pick apart about that movie that I just come up with a new interpretation every single time, to the point that I actually want to write an essay on it. So that's how much I love it.
I was literally just thinking about that film earlier today. I mean, I was listening to the soundtrack for the film, I was thinking about it, but
yeah, Disaster Piece.
Yeah, fucking Disaster Piece rocks. Like, It Follows put me on his radar, and it also put me on the radar of that director. Like, I probably would not have seen Under the Silver Lake if it weren't for It Follows, which is also just a great film. But now that like enough time has passed, and it's been a while since I've seen Under the Silver Lake, and it's been a while since I've seen It Follows, and those films are not very similar at all. And I respect that about them. I respect that his second film was just a complete fucking left field. It is not a horror film, and it does not have a lot to do with It Follows, but it's really good in its own right.
Yeah,
no, Under the Silver, I gotta watch it again. That's another, yeah, like you said, that's a film where you can just pick that film apart and always find something new about it to latch onto.
Oh yeah. Salty Tyrancer and chat says, is anyone going to talk about how Norris the Spider is a Thing reference? Yeah. Just thinking of like a few more movies. I was watching a little bit of Dream Scenario, another Nicolas Cage movie, before the podcast, and it is actually pretty good. It's based on that creepypasta that went around. You might be familiar with it. It's the Have You Seen This Man creepypasta?
Okay.
Yeah, so like for people to understand, Have You Seen This Man? The creepypasta. It is this creepypasta about this man that just randomly appears in people's dreams, and this therapist made the sketch of somebody like a patient told her about, and there was this website for it. Have You Seen This Man? I think it was .org, and
okay.
Of course, like it turned out to be a hoax, but I guess a filmmaker saw that creepypasta and was like, I'm going to make a movie out of it. And it is actually a pretty good movie. The main character is an insufferable asshole, which I love, and it's kind of this commentary on fame from what I'm gathering so far. Like, he goes into this board meeting and they talk about Sprite wants to advertise us, so we're thinking we want to get you to pose with like Sprite cans so we can post those on Twitter, and so when people dream about you, you can like hold you would have sprites, and we can put Sprite in people's dreams. And it is really interesting, like how it works with that premise, because when you hear about it, you think it's based on a creepypasta, so they're going to go for the generic horror routes, but no, it's just like a weird artsy film. Yeah. And I can't.
Sorry, who's in that movie?
Nicolas Cage.
Fuck yeah! I will fucking defend Nicolas Cage till I'm dead in my grave. I think he's a good actor, and I do not think that. I think people who fucking criticize Nicolas Cage, they just don't get it. They don't get it.
They don't get it. Like, when he's in a good movie, he's an amazing actor. When he is in a bad movie, he is a masterpiece of an actor.
Yep.
Yes.
He is the best part of every film I've seen, whether it's a good film or a bad film.
Yeah. God took a solid gold shit and made Nicolas Cage. Yeah. Yeah, I can't think of a lot of movies I've got favorites. I mean, obviously I have a lot of favorite movies, but like none at the top of my head.
That's the thing. That's one of those questions that it's like I watch a lot of films, and when I'm asked what my favorite film is, I like narrow down to the same three. I'm like, oh, I like Alien, The Thing, and Blade Runner, and it's like those are the three films that I default to. Interstellar is another film that Interstellar kind of creeps its way up.
Yeah.
Every time I'm like, I do really, really like that movie, and I know it's flawed. I know it's got some issues. I'm not going to pretend it's a perfect film, but I like it. It entertains me. It is like 3.5 hours long, and it sure as fuck doesn't feel like it. I like films in general that have a big like sense of scope to them, for lack of a better word. Like films that are like maybe 3 hours long, but it feels like they cover a ridiculous amount of ground, where you feel like you've seen 3 films by the time it's over.
Interesting.
And that's definitely one of them. But then I also, in that vein, I also like films like Fargo, where Fargo is like, that's a short movie. That's like an hour and a half.
It's pretty good.
And that is such a self-contained film that is like, I know there's a series based off of it, and the series is good too. But that is like, that film is such a fucking in and out experience. And I really, really like it for that. But I mean, that's kind of true of every Coen Brothers film, where every Coen Brothers film just kind of exists in its own universe and doesn't overstay its welcome.
Oh yeah. I'm very happy that somebody in chat referenced Face Off.
Face Off fucking kicks ass, dude.
That's not just a good movie; it's a great meme movie.
Yep, it's like a movie that's not great, but
it knows it's not great, and that's what makes it a fun watch. I'm going to take his face off.
I gotta use the bathroom really quick.
You motherfucker. Okay, go.
While I'm gone, can you show this video on the podcast? Thank you. Okay, be right back.
Okay. Okay. I'm probably going to get an ad because I'm not logged into YouTube on this browser. You got
Empower your students at every stage of the writing process with Grammarly's generative AI.
Woo! Ad!
Use it to help students
Okay, skip. Just making sure it's displaying on screen. Yep, it is.
A bat credit card? They gave him a bat credit card? They had the balls to give one of the greatest superheroes of all time a bat credit card? No! No! Does not compute! Does not compute! Does not compute! I think so! Hello.
That was great. Oddshot, how are you today?
Okay, I'm back. I'm sorry about that.
You were gone for a really long time.
I know, I was gone for like 40 whole seconds.
Zigzag says Nick Cage should play Doug Walker.
That'd be fucking good.
That would be. It's like it's like Charlie Kaufman's what's the movie I'm thinking of where Nicolas Cage plays Charlie Kaufman, adaptation. It'd be like Charlie Kaufman's adaptation just with Doug Walker.
Good old Doug Walker, Dougie.
By the way, I did have this question for you. I just should have asked you in DMs. If you want to talk about more later, we can do that. I'll just ask you here since we're already on top of movies. I had this idea for bonus material for the YouTube channel where we talk about actually scary horror movies. I was wondering if you'd be down to join me for that.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Heck yeah. And I just want to say Threads is a good one. I will not go into a lot of detail about that. Maybe on the bonus app I will. But like, main reason I don't want to go into a lot of detail about it is because it is an extremely realistic depiction of nuclear warfare. And it makes for some really authentic scariness. I'll just put it there.
We watched fucking Zone of Interest, and that is like not a horror film, but it's like the most unsettled I've been watching a film in a weird way. Like that's a weird film where you don't actually see anything, and yet it is still the most fucking uncomfortable I've felt watching a film.
Oh yeah.
It is very, very good at that.
Yeah,
film does a very good job being a fucking nightmare.
Yeah, I've been wanting to rewatch that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Other films that are
if you don't
genuine.
If you have any more, let me know. Just we're about to get to the actual questions.
Okay. Yeah.
You don't got any?
Give me a second to think. I don't know. See, I'm like I want to talk about stuff that's not the obvious picks, because I don't know. I'm very into talking about horrifying things in material that is not typically horror themed. I think that's always an interesting discussion. Yeah. That being said, fucking Skinamarink fucked me up.
Oh yeah. Oh fuck yeah. I bought I bought the DVD from Walmart just because I had the commentary on it.
Nice. That film is like, it's depressing and it's very fucking unsettling, and it's like scary twice, and it's just depressing the entire time. It's a fucking miserable movie. Good, yeah, but it's
yeah, and at the same time it's kind of horrifying to watch because it constantly sets you up for a jump scare, and there's like 2 or 3 in the film, but just the fact that it limits itself so much, it shows restraint that actually makes it effective, which isn't exercised enough.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, moving on to questions, because it turns out you have a FimViction account.
Oh my god, how cringe!
Fucking brony.
This fucking guy writing fucking fan fictions. Ew.
Well,
get him out of here.
Well, you have an alt.
True, I do have an alt.
Yes. NSFW alt. Gus the Polar Bear. Okay, so I know Norris the Spider is based off the thing. Is Gus the Polar Bear a reference to anything?
Yeah, Gus the Polar Bear is a more specific reference, and I have no fucking reason for picking this other than it was just like I wanted something that was similar to NorristhePony, so I was like, what can I do? Gus the Polar Bear is a real thing. It was a polar bear that lived in Central Park in like the mid 2000s, and it got horribly depressed, and it was very, very sad, and it was very, very sad for a long time, and it was basically treated as like an icon for New Yorkers' depression. And I was like, perfect, that's what I pick. I'll pick that random poem.
You gotta treat that depression one ejaculation at a time.
Yeah. There's also a song by the band The Tragically Hip, they're like a Canadian band, so I don't expect people outside of Canada to know who they are. But they have a song called Gus the Polar Bear from Central Park.
Ooh.
And that's how I know about it. But honestly, it really just comes down to I wanted a similar name to Norris the Pony, where it's like, name the animal. And I was thinking of Dolores the Phony. And for the longest time, my alt was going to be called Dolores the Phony. And I was like, that's lame. And then I picked Gus the Polar Bear instead. It has nothing to do with anything.
Nice. Okay, so what made you want to start an NSFW account?
Mainly because, well, I had an idea for, I had a few ideas for stories that were, that I would have to make them not safe for work for them.
Real quick, somebody in chat says, "Are you sure it's not a Norm of the North reference?"
I'm pretty sure it's not. It's the New Norm reference, actually. It's actually a reference to the hit Twitter show, The New Norm.
My favorite show, The New Norm?
Yeah, The New Norm. Fuck yeah, dude. Can we just make the podcast about The New Norm and just talk about The New Norm for 3 hours? All right.
Yeah, let's do that. Yeah. I love Elon Musk.
Fuck yeah, dude. How about that theme song? That cool fucking...
New Norm ain't the same as the old Norm was. Those are the only lyrics I know.
I think those are the only lyrics.
But yeah. You're saying what the thing that inspired your NSFW account?
Yeah. I don't know. I wanted to write romance stories that would eventually like. I wanted to write romance stories where I didn't feel restricted, where it's like if I wanted to write a sex scene, then I could just do it. And I didn't, for some reason, want to have mature stories on my main account. I just felt weird about that. I felt like people who had already followed me wouldn't want to see. I don't know why. It's probably a stupid fucking thing to think, and in retrospect, I probably could have just published those stories on my main account. But no, it was mainly just a general frustration at seeing every single fic that was marked as not safe for work being very fetish heavy, very kind of like every time I see a fucking fic in the top of the featured box that's not safe for work, it's got some fucking, and I'm not here to shame anyone, but every time it's got like some fucking I'm trying to navigate around saying this without coming across like a fucking pretentious dickbag. But every time I see a fucking fic in the top of the feature box, it's got some fucking degenerate shit in it. And I'm like, I just want to write a romance story that is like cutesy and wholesome that just so happens to be not safe for work. Like it just so happens to have a sex scene in it. And I wanted to write the most kind of innocuous and romantic sex scene imaginable. And so my first story, which is about a sea pony and a fisher pony, was my first kind of attempt to do that, and it was pretty successful actually. That story got featured, I think, and it's like across both of my accounts. It's one of my more upvoted stories, which is nice because it was kind of an experiment for me to do something I'd never done before. And then I did some fucking autistic shit where I made a sequel to it. And the sequel is like 80,000 words. And it's like got a plot. It's got different characters. And it's got like no sex in it whatsoever. It's got like one sex scene and that's it. And I'm like, at this point, it has no reason to even be on my alt account. Like, this should have just been on my main account because it is just a story. Like, it's not a clop fic. It's just a normal story.
I mean, Seven is talking about like the ones, or not one. I think he's written more, but like, sorry, I'm just making sure this is pulled up on the stream. There, I'm displaying your profile on the screen. Seven's talking about like when he's written clop or romance stories with sex scenes, he labels it as porn because it gets more clicks. So
Right.
yeah, I think it just works inadvertently as that. Also, thank you for inadvertently shitting on my alt account.
What? You cut out. I didn't hear what you said.
I said thank you for inadvertently shitting on my alt account, by the way.
I didn't mean to do that. I'm sorry. I like realized as I was saying it, I was like, oh no, there's no way I can say this where I don't come across like a fucking asshole.
No.
I'm like, oh, thank God everyone already knows that I'm an asshole.
No, you're good. I kind of started my NSFW alt for the same reason. It's like, Jesus Christ, did I talk about this every episode? No, it's like every other episode.
Okay, go to stories. I want to show something that I did.
He's pulling his cock out.
No, okay. Okay, go ahead and I'll explain.
Okay, you go on. You go on.
Okay, I can show it first.
No, it's not important. Go on.
I'm gonna keep this argument going for 5 minutes.
Okay, let's do it. This is the podcast now. We're
No.
gonna argue about who goes first.
No, you go first,
Okay, go with the flow.
motherfucker.
Open it. No, open it. Open the story.
All the ponies in this town are crazy!
Oh, click on the story. It's right there. It's right there. Click on it.
Catch you remember?
No, go with the flow. It's right there. I can
I
see
clicked
it on
it.
the fucking.
Do I have the wrong one? I clicked it.
Okay, now scroll down. Scroll down.
Okay.
Go to the word count.
69.
69 421. I added an extra word just to fuck with people.
You know what? You did it right. You posted the story on your
Yeah.
MSFW alts. No. Okay, the thing I was saying, okay, the reason why I started my NSFW alt is because, I'm open about it. I'm into non-con. The problem with most non-cons on film fiction is it is usually fetish heavy and can kind of get extreme.
Right.
The way I write mine is I like to focus on personalities. I like characters having personality, and I don't like going into that extreme shit. So I just started it because I wanted to write my preferences, and yeah, that's how it started. That's how it started.
Can I just say, I don't know how appropriate it is to talk about this, but non-con in general bores me because I think it's written in a way that's very lazy and very uninteresting most of the time. At least with Clopfic, where if you're gonna write non-con and that's what you're gonna do, and you're fucking going down that dark road, you gotta fucking I want to see a character that is a character, and
Yep.
people are fucking afraid to do that, and they're like, oh, but they actually like it because the dick big, so they like sex. And I fucking hate that shit. And that's why I hate non-con. And that's why, because it appeals to the male fantasy, but actually, though.
Yeah, okay, I haven't said this to anybody before, but DubCon is the coward's way out.
Is Go with the Flow of Queens of the Stone Age your reference?
Yeah.
Yes, it fucking is.
like if you write, okay, so like if you're into like non-con, but and you want to write it, just fucking own up to it, dude. Like, yeah, there are going to be people who shit on you, but like, you gotta remember, like, what you're writing is strictly fantasy, and if you're still kind of if you're still like kind of a coward about it, I am a little bit of one. I still focus on the main character's personality, but I do shit that makes up for it. So, like, always plan ahead, or that's like easily my most graphic story. And the way I managed to get around that one is I just made the main character a piece of shit to the point that you don't even feel bad for them.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, that was kind of my one. When I said, I was like, all right, I'm gonna write a story and it is gonna have the sex tag, and I'm gonna put the sexo tag on it, and it is gonna be intended to titillate the senses. And when I set out and I was like, all right, I'm gonna do that, it was still kind of my intention that I was going to write a story that was about characters and about like the relationship between two characters, and was still an exploration of characters. And that was the one rule that I set out for myself before I started the story was that I still want to explore personalities, and I want to tell a story, and I want, like, if you were to strip away anything not safe for work about this, you could still enjoy the story.
Oh yeah, there's nothing hotter than personality.
Fucking A.
Yes. Going on to the pulling up.
Exactly. The problem with non-con fics is they don't play out the progression of the recipient's mental state in a way where you can see how they get there. It's just 0 to 100 without any lead up. Fucking exactly.
Yeah.
It's always like they don't like it, and then the dick is really big and it's really hot, and then now they like it now, and it's like that was so boring. I didn't like what was. Why did you write that? Who is this for?
As soon as I see that in a non-con fic, I stop reading.
That nothing speaks. I have never spoken to a woman more than someone who fucking writes that shit.
That's a good
All right.
idea.
What is this?
What is what?
Hotshot just said.
Oh. Oh my god, is another Muggany non-con discussion.
It always comes down to this, man. We're always talking about your interest in non-con fics. What's up with that? Every conversation I have with you, you talk.
I really like it.
Yeah, no, I want to do more with my alt account where it's the same shit that I did with the other two stories, where it's like it's a romance first and then the sex happens afterwards, and both of those not safe for work stories follow the same format, where the first chapter is safe for work and then the second chapter is all the sexy times.
Yeah. I still think you should go with the idea I gave you a while back, where I said you should write a wholesome non-con story.
I don't know how to do that, but like the challenge almost like I have ideas of making that work, weirdly enough, where I could actually maybe pull that off, and I might do it. Again, just to I'm at the stage now where I've written what I want to write. That I'm like, I just want to challenge myself now. I want to do stuff that challenges me as a writer. And that's fun to do.
Oh heck yeah! I'll fucking pre-read that shit.
But in terms of like stuff for my main account, which is again that's still where my focus is on my main account. I was working on a Crystal Pony story that I've decided I want to rework a lot, which, you know, it sucks to have these ideas for these stories and then like look at them and then turn around and be like, actually, I don't like where this is going and I want to completely rewrite it. that usually doesn't end well, but in this case, I think it's for the best. But more than anything, I want to write a story that is large in scale, where it not necessarily large in terms of word count, where it's like Followed Equestria and it's 2 million words long, and it takes forever to get to. I don't want to do that. I'm more thinking of stories that take place over an extended period of time that I'm very interested in writing, where it's like you follow one character across
a long form series.
Not even long form. Like my thought is I want to write a story that's divided into 3 different acts, and each act reflects a different stage in that character's life.
Oh,
so you're
so kind of an anthology.
Yeah, but like it's like an anthology series where you have like, and I'm thinking the length of time between each, or the word count between each chapter would be around 30,000 words, and each of those acts is a segment of that character's life. So you start from their childhood, and then you time skip forwards to, you know, their early adulthood, and then you time skip one more time to their later adulthood, and to tell a story kind of in that format where it's about a single life, a single, in this case, pony who is experiencing, you know, their life across an extended period of time, and you're telling a story that is very broad in scope, but doing it in a very kind of focused span of words.
Even though we're off the movie discussion, I have good recommendation for you. That would be, I think, would be a good source of inspiration. Moonlight does that actually.
Interesting. I got the idea because of actually from fucking Furiosa of all movies. Furiosa does that, and it is by far my favorite thing about that film is that it presents itself in that manner, where it's like it's divided into 5 chapters, and the time in between those chapters is usually a significant length of time. Where it's like chapter 1 is Furiosa as a child, and then chapter 2 it like jumps forward like 7 years. And it keeps doing that, and I actually really, really like that format for storytelling. I think it's a cool way to tell a story when the story is about a single person.
Yeah, it's really interesting. Yeah, I say like what kind of approach are you gonna have to this story? Like, is it like artsy? Is it gonna be fun like Furiosa? What kind is it?
I'm thinking action drama.
Okay.
I'm first of all, I'm thinking of setting it outside of Equestria. Like right on the kind of the outskirts of Equestria, where more lawless. Like it's very inspired by Fallout Equestria without being Fallout Equestria. Like I want to kind of tap into those Wild West tones, but still kind of set it within the show setting. I'm at the stage as a writer where I'm still very interested in the setting of MLP, but I'm less interested in the setting as canon depicts it. Like I want to tell stories within the MLP setting that don't feel like they have to fall within a certain framework where they have to adhere to certain events that happen in the show. But yeah, in terms of the story itself and how it plays out, I'm thinking it would mostly be an action-adventure kind of story.
Interesting. And on the topic of Fallout question, I just want to say I think Project Horizons is extremely overhated.
It's a weird case where that story is either fucking loved, people absolutely adore Project Horizons, or they think it's the most offensive degeneracy ever put forward.
Yeah, and like it kind of goes to show who has a high media literacy and who doesn't, because Project Horizons is very different from the original. I would actually go so far as to say it's better than the original fic in so many ways, but I think people kind of hyper focus on the themes it explores and go, dude, this is pretty fetishy. because there is there is a non-con stuff in it. That's the main thing people focus on, and it's not meant to be sexual. It's meant to be disturbing, and in a lot of ways it explores like the core themes of the characters, and people kind of hyper focus on it. It is really interesting.
I have 2 points, and they're a little bit unrelated, and I'm gonna kind of put them one after another.
Okay.
First of all, I read a story a long while ago from an author who is fairly popular, if not for his own works, because he does weekly site reviews, named Paul Asaron, or Paul Azaron. I might be pronouncing that wrong, but he's an author who I've admired his works for some time, and I've started his works with a fic called Twilight's Inferno, which is a ponification of Dante's Inferno.
Ooh.
With Twilight in the titular role, and it is heavy. It fucking goes places. It does not fuck around. That is a fucking dire fic. I don't even know if it's still on the site anymore. I'm looking for it right now and I can't find it. He might have taken it down.
It might still be on FinFetch.
I'm curious. Oh my god. Oh yeah, no, it's still there. Yeah, no, that fic is heavy, and it contains things that are twisted and dark and not intended to be sexual but are sexual. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's similar to Project Horizons, where it's like this is non-con, but it's not supposed to be sexy. This is supposed to be unsettling, and it feels like that was the intention. Yeah, no, that fic, I like have trouble recommending it because of how fucking dark it gets. But it is very good. He's a very good writer. And yeah, that's a fic that's stuck with me for a while. So that was my first point. And then my second point was, have you ever read Fallout Equestria Murky #7?
No, I am a big Fallout Equestria fan. Like I know like the general stigma that surrounds the fan fiction community there, but that is actually on my list of fics I want to read.
That seems to be like the. I haven't read it myself, but I actually just it came on my radar like several days ago because one of my friends mentioned it, and I'm like, I actually have not heard of this one. And it's always a surreal feeling when you're recommended a story and then you pull it up and it's got 25,000 views, and you're like, how have I not seen this before?
I'm like that a lot.
And you know that's a fic that looks like it's similar to Project Horizons, where it deals with some dark shit, but it doesn't deal with them in a way that it's like you're not supposed to enjoy that it does that. It's supposed to feel like you're reading a slog of a story.
Question. I'm looking up a fic real quick. Oh yeah. No, I accidentally looked up users. What the fuck? Wait, is it this one? Did this guy write it? Okay, well, there's this fic called Fallout Equestria Duck and Cover.
Okay.
I mean, it's a really fun read. It's just a parody of the original Fallout Equestria, where like all the characters are the inverse version of the characters from the original story, and it is a quick read. I think it's only like 69,000 words. It's fun. There's like a scene where they accidentally end up in another dimension, and it's just Skyrim. And the main character is such a piece of shit. Like where like hero a little bit was like this like a hero with high morals. The main character of that fic, it's just this absolute piece of shit who just does everything out of her self-interest, and if she does anything heroic, it is accidental, and it's a fucking great read. And there's a sequel to it. It's called I think it's called Make Love Not War.
Okay.
That one actually takes a closer look to her character. It's not as good as the original. I haven't finished it, but it is still good.
To check that out. I'm actually like I added Murky #7 to my list, and I'll keep you updated on how I feel about that story.
Okay.
I don't know. Fallout Equestria appeals to me because it is a very character-driven series. Like every fic that exists within that universe, despite the scale of everything, is very much about one specific character and about one specific character's journey, and that is, I think, at the forefront of storytelling that I enjoy. I care about reading about a singular character way more than I'll ever care about an overarching plot. That's just the way I am, and that's the way I respond to storytelling.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It's how I've always wanted to write my own stories, where the overarching plot exists so that the characters can exist and interact with each other.
Yeah.
And I think the interactions between characters is always more important than the reasons for why they're doing that.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably my weakness as a writer. If I were to point to a singular flaw that I have as a writer, it's that I don't care about plot as much as I probably should. And I don't iron out plots as specifically as I probably should.
That could be up to interpretation.
Like I look back at my most popular story, arguably, is probably Synthetic Clouded Sunlight, and I think that story suffers a little bit. I think it's good. I don't regret writing it or anything silly like that, but that story like starts very strong, and then it goes in a weird diversion where it becomes kind of bad for a couple chapters, and then eventually it kind of course corrects and becomes a little bit better.
Well,
And I think the main reason for that is because, again, I was like, I care more about writing these characters going to cool places than I do writing about a story that makes sense.
Well, you say it's going to be bad for a few chapters, so I'm just going to stop reading it.
Okay, well, if you want to stop reading it and then come back in again, you want to skip chapters. You want to read up...
I'll read all of it. I'll read all of it.
Read up to chapter 10, and then skip all the way to chapter 50, and then just read 50 into the end.
No, I'm a completionist.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Okay, so... Interesting enough, I have actually been wanting to write a follow-up question fic for a while. This is how far back it dates. I was either 15 or 16 when I conceived the idea for the story, but like I always had I always like it always bothered me how like the main character of somebody's follow-up question fic was a stable dweller, and I just looked at it and went, come on, try to be a little more original. So I had the idea. Yeah. Okay, what if I wrote a story that takes place from the perspective of a talent merc who is experienced and has learned everything, and there's no more things to learn, and I just explore his character from there. And I've been experimenting with it for like 10 years, almost 10 years.
Yeah.
And it's I've had very few ideas for it over those 10 years. When I first conceived it, like I was pretty big into The Last of Us at that time, because I watched PewDiePie do a playthrough, and so I had this idea to like imitate The Last of Us, and I tried to write that down, but like I was 15, I didn't know how to execute stories properly, so like lately I've been thinking about revisiting the concept. Just I have other shit I'm working on, like Pink Scorch. I think I want to work on that shit before I get into other shit.
Yeah.
That's the...
I do want to see more Pink Scorch, by the way. I like Pink Scorch a lot.
Oh, nice. Did you actually finish the original story?
Yeah, of course I did.
Oh, nice. I can't believe we're talking about this on stream. I definitely want you to see the new chapter because I'm excited for it.
Yeah.
Yes. Also, your OC. I guess I can get away with talking about my own fic here because your OC is in the story. Yeah. Your OC, yeah. Stella.
Stella's a pony.
Yes,
she's a bitch.
I'm not gonna talk to about my own story unless it's relevant to the character. But yeah. Do you want to tell people about your OC, Stella? Your
well. I mean, they could see her. She's my avatar right now. I don't know. OCs are something that I didn't really care about until very recently, to be honest. Like, original characters are something that I've always, up until I think around 2020, they were always just things that I would put into a story to make the plot function. It'd be like, oh, I need a bureaucrat OC, so this one, and I would just make an OC to fit a specific story role. And I never thought of OCs as the star of their own stories until around when the show ended. Like when the show ended and it was over with, and we were in that void in between G4 and what would end up being the blithered corpse of G4.5, that is G5. I kind of became more and more interested in stories that were entirely about original characters, because I think when you make a story about an original character, you are less bound by specific like regulations. You don't have to adhere to specific narrative you don't have to fit into canon at all. You can do whatever the fuck you want. And that appeals to me very much as a writer who cares about the setting, but doesn't care enough about the setting that I want to follow it to a specific T. Stella came because I wanted to write a story about... Well, originally she came because I had a tabletop game that I needed a character for, so I came up with her. And then that tabletop game never really ended up going anywhere, but I still had this character that I wanted to do stuff with, so I just got more and more ideas. And yeah, no, you get ideas for character. You come up with a character first, and then you come up with ideas for that character, and eventually you want to write a story about them, and that's kind of where I am right now.
Oh yeah, and one thing is like when I ask permission to like use your character for my story is like it's a very OC centric story or long form series I'm working on, and so I constantly come up with new characters. So I decided might be a good idea if I borrow a few characters from people. And what I did not expect, like when I asked to borrow Stella, is that she would actually become a prominent figure in the series. Because she's meant to be a side villain in this current story I'm working on, but she's meant to get her own fleshed out story in a sequel, which I did not I originally did not conceive.
Well, I mean, Stella within her own story is not supposed to be a character that you're necessarily. She's not supposed to be morally right. She's supposed to be a flawed character who has her own set of problems that she has to get past. Because I think that is an interesting character. I think interesting characters have problems with themselves as well as with the setting overall. And they have to get over that. I mean, I like writing Celestia because Celestia is the epitome of that. She is a good pony who has a lot of problems, and that is the utmost interesting thing to write, is characters who have flaws with themselves as well as with the universe.
Yeah, I think my favorite part about writing her is trying to compare her to your canon, because hi Midas.
I heard your dog, but he was like really bit crushed by the quality of your microphone. So it was just like demonic fucking sound I heard from your mic.
Thank you. You're really adding to the conversation, you know. Oh, yeah, my favorite part about writing Stella is trying to compare her to your canon, because you explained to me her story, and you explained that there are two different versions of her, kind of a psychotic version and a much more toned down version. And my favorite part about coming up with ideas for her characters was trying to work both of those versions in. So I just conceived the idea, okay, the story is already absurd in premise. I'm doing a bunch of stupid shit with the characters anyways. What if I just make her a 500-year-old vampire? And I'm just working with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, let's see, what other questions do I have? Okay. Ooh, okay.
I will just generally say that my interest in stories about original characters kind of became more and more prevalent as I started reading the stories written by Rambling Writer, who is a writer on film fiction, who I can't fucking recommend this guy enough. If you have not read this dude's stories, you owe it to yourself, because he's good at self-contained stories that you can just drop in and read like a 70,000 word story. It's a short little novella. You're in and you're out, and it's a good time. And he wrote one story that I think of all his stories, this is the one that I like the most. And it's called The Glowmane.
The Glowmane?
And it is The Glowmane. And it's judging by that title, and if you don't know what Glowmane means, it means Twilight. That story is a rewrite of Twilight. So it takes like Stephanie Meyer's Twilight, and it strips it down to its bare skeleton form, puts it in a pony setting, and then rewrites it from the ground up. And you might think that sounds like dog shit. You'd be entirely wrong. It's fucking fantastic. And I like that story a lot, and it makes me appreciate like a writer that is going to take something from canon, with two different canons at that, and make it better than the sum of its parts. But But yeah, no, that's kind of his shtick as a writer. He has some stories about canon characters, but most of his stuff is original characters and original stories that fit really well within the setting, but also are entirely products of his own imagination.
Oh, he wrote Best Hell Ever. We did a reading of that.
Yes.
Oh, and he wrote a sequel. I never noticed there's a sequel.
He likes his sequels. He also wrote his probably best story, like actually best story, is Hinterlands, which is Hinterlands is fucking really good. And then he wrote 2 sequels to that are also really good. Also really good for different reasons, which I like. But yeah, no, he's a good writer. He deserves more attention than what he has.
I see OC base. I was going to ask a question based on what you just told me, but I just since we're on the top of OCs, I just want to say like I think OC stories are underappreciated. I think there is a lot you can do within the context of the show. I think it opens up a lot of avenues for like greater stories, especially those with OCs. The problem with OCs is they're just not marketable.
Yeah.
And fucking going back to Pink Scorch, I don't want to talk about my story on your podcast.
No, it's fine. I like talking about your stories.
Thank you. In that case, I'll talk about all of them. Okay, going back to Pink Scorch. Okay, I was told by somebody. I mean, they're a cold bean. Jack of View Trades. I'm not shitting on him. In fact, I agree with him.
Hey, Jack, if you're hearing this, Jack, fuck you.
Fuck you.
Fuck you, motherfucker.
Love you.
Fuck you think you are? You're nothing. Who the fuck are you?
No, I agree with his advice. Just I'm not gonna follow it. He said, yeah, if you want this, like, I was upset like the story, the series wasn't marketing well. Like, I released the second story, and it actually made me angry that it got very little viewership upon release, because it just told me people just they want to read the same shit they always do. That's what it told me. They don't care about high effort stories. That pissed me off. And Jack just told me, if you want people to read your work, you gotta explore like the main characters. You gotta do shit that's marketable. And he is right. He is right. The problem with that is, like, even though like it makes me angry, I only care about writing the shit that I'm passionate about, which is why I'm still continuing the story. And I think more people should write what they're passionate about. I want to see more OC stories. I want to see people find ways to come up with these characters, and I want to learn their niche. I want to learn what makes them function. I just want to learn everything about them. I don't think people should be afraid to do that.
Eventually, you get to a point as a writer where you have to decide whether you want to write the ideas that are in your head, or if you want to write the ideas that people want to see. They're the popular ideas. They're the ideas that you think are going to be popular. And those aren't always the same. Sometimes they are. Sometimes you have an idea that is very marketable. Like my Pony story, for example, which is, if you're not familiar, and I'm not here to self-promote or anything, but that story is
self-promote, dude. It's your podcast.
That story is predominantly about a Pony who gets stuck in a Fisher Pony's net, and then they strike a relationship from that. And I'm like, that is a simple concept, but I haven't seen it done before. And that was an idea where it's like, it was something I really wanted to write that I also thought was very marketable. So that was a good kind of middle of the road between those two goals. But those goals don't always line up. Sometimes you have an idea that's just your idea. And it's just the idea that's in your head, and you want to get that idea out of your head, and you don't give a fuck if anyone reads it. Or at least you shouldn't. You shouldn't give a fuck if anyone reads it, because it's your idea, and you got to get it out there. And if 3 people read it, then hey, at least 3 other people read it. And if 30 people read it, then good for you.
Yeah. And things to note down here is, like, I've grown less angry about it over time. It's like if what you're putting out is clearly passionate, and people recognize that passion and they'll cater towards it. And thankfully, like I've been building an audience for the story over time.
Yeah.
Just like write something you're passionate about. Don't worry about whether or not it's marketable, or if you do want to. If you do want it to be somewhat marketable, then just put like I guess make it a fun story with it, or just do whatever the hell you want with it. Just do it within your own context, man. Keep it going. Don't let it die, because the moment you let it die, people are going to lose interest.
Yeah, you got to keep momentum going. And like if it's an idea that is your passionate idea, then the second you lose passion in that idea, then your audience isn't going to pick up that passion for you.
Yeah.
Like no one gives a shit about your passion project if you no longer have passion in it.
Exactly.
And that is the end of the fucking deal. As soon as you lose interest in that thing that you love to write, then no one else is going to care. And if you clearly have interest in it and you're clearly writing from a place of genuine interest, then someone's going to care. It might not be a huge audience. You might not be top in the feature box every time, but you're going to get a comment or two of people who really connect with what you're doing. And at the end of the day, that is better than if you just didn't put the idea out there at all. Exactly.
Okay, going back to like the writer's discussion, you're talking about you really like Rambling Writer. This is actually one of the questions I wrote down on the document. What are your favorite writers?
Rambling Writer.
Somebody besides Rambling.
Well, another author, and I'm good friends with this person as well, so he's listening to this. Hi, Rune Soldier Dan.
What's his name?
His name is Rune Soldier Dan, and I really like his stories. And I really like specifically his story Wayward Son, which I don't know. I'm going to connect this to something I said earlier, which is that I have an interest in stories that are told across a lengthy span of time about a singular character that cover different eras of this character's life. And he wrote a story called Wayward Son, which is about Celestia. And it is about 3 different points of Celestia's life. Her life with Luna prior to her banishment, her life right after Luna's banishment, and then her life after Luna has returned. And the story is not very long relative to how long fucking stories get on FimFiction. I think it's like, it's 80,000 words, which is fucking nothing compared to the millions of words of Fallout Equestria that are out there. But despite that story being relatively short, it covers a lot of ground, and it feels a lot bigger than itself. And that idea of stories that are very well-paced, that feel bigger than themselves, is something that I didn't really think possible until after I read that story. And that story kind of opened my eyes a lot.
I haven't heard of this author. I'll check him out.
I highly recommend you read, at the very least, To Try for the Sun. He has a story called To Try for the Sun. And that's a good story. That's a very, very good story.
Yes.
But you can pick any story that he's read, and it's probably going to be good.
Yes, this Sergeant Reckless, he's also a very good writer.
Yeah, he's pretty good.
So is Tattered Rags.
Yes.
More like tattered friend.
You can say the word. We're on YouTube.
Does YouTube let you say the F word?
I believe you can. We just can't be monetized. But
I'm not gonna take away your monetized. So
here's the thing. We don't even have enough viewership to get monetized, so you're good.
I can't believe you're suppressing my freedom of speech on your podcast. Like, you invite me onto your podcast and you don't even let me say.
Stop being a fag.
There you go. But I don't know, other authors that I really, really care for, that I really want to fucking read their stuff, that aren't Odd Sarge, because he's in the call right. Be a little weird to recommend.
Yeah, I'm worthless.
Your mic does work. Your mic does work.
It'd be a little bit weird to recommend Cypress Zero to everyone listening.
This entire time he was pretending his mic doesn't work.
I knew from the beginning. I always knew. I knew he was doing a bit.
Oh my god.
Known all along. Aragon. I like Aragon a lot.
Oh, Aragon's a good writer.
Aragon's a good comedian. Yeah. I can't attest to Aragon's skills as a writer because I have never read an Aragon long fic. Every Aragon story I've read has been a one shot. But he's very good at those. He's a very good comedian. Yeah. And other authors, Short Skirts and Explosions, is very good at throwing every idea he has at the wall and hoping that some of them stick, and most of them do.
Oh yeah, yeah. Both of those are pretty good. I like Eric. Like I have a few issues with him. I will not get into them because we do not shit talk people on this podcast. But I like his writing, and I actually do want to have him on as a guest. But if you go back to his Bardcast interview, it's a talker, as in, okay, so this is the basis of what his 2 Bardcast interviews were. Priest would ask a question,
yeah,
and he would talk for 10 minutes.
Oh yes, he's like me then.
Yeah, you're like with you, like there's so like it's still like there's still a lot of breathing room for conversation. With Aragon, there's a point in the interview where Priest actually has to take control and say, "Okay, stop. Next question."
I mean, that doesn't surprise me from Aragon, because if you ever read his blogs, he'll blog about nothing, and that blog will be like 1,000 words long. Like he'll make a blog about going to a diner, and that diner will be 10,000 words. Like he's very good at taking nothing and writing for a long time about it.
Yeah, yeah, it's really interesting.
Other authors that I think everyone on FibFiction should be vaguely aware of are Carabas. You should read Carabas. And you should go, everyone listening to this podcast right now, yes, you. Yeah, I'm talking to you.
That's right.
Go over to your web browser. Okay, yeah, keep scrolling.
What's up, Derek?
Go over to the address bar. Okay, https://www.fibfiction.net/user. Okay, 101038/Carabas. Okay, Carabas. Okay, hit enter. Go to stories. Okay, you're gonna scroll down. You're gonna keep going. You're gonna go to page 2. You're gonna keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Go to page 3. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. All right. See the end of the day. You see that story? Pick that. Open that story. Okay, read that story.
We don't read it later.
Yeah, put that story on your read it later, and when you get a chance, check out the end of the day.
I had 10,000. I had 10,032 stories on my read it later. Now I have 10,033.
Yeah, no, Carabas is good too. Carabas is good for very world building heavy stories, where it's like, hey, you know your canon setting? I just made it better. And that's what Carabas does.
Oh, heck yeah.
Man, there's so many authors that are just gone that I used to really fucking like, that have been off offline since August 12th, 2017.
Bob just disappeared.
Yeah, so did Danger Beans. Fucking love you, Danger Beans. Come back.
Oh my god. Well, okay, we'll mark that off the list.
Then you have Jojo, who keeps pretending like he's gonna leave, but he never does. Jojo, who has on like 3 separate occasions been like, the show sucks. The show fucking sucks. I hate the show. Give us a 200,000 word story about the show.
I lost interest in the show a long time ago.
Same.
Yeah, but I the only thing that keeps me on fanfiction is just the fanfiction. Like, yeah, there's still good shits. Just because like whether or not like I just like the show, it's not gonna hinder how I feel about like the content I consume on the website.
What's your cutoff for canon? I'm curious what point of canon that you consider.
Pretty much all of it. Like I stopped watching after, I want to say, season 6 or 7. I don't know. But like I still try to follow canon. It's just like I haven't cared to continue the show. I tried to rewatch it in its entirety a couple of months back. I still need to get around to it because I'm still on season 1, and season 1 has some, I want to say, insufferable, but really it's just like they're figuring out what to do with the show, and it's just they relied a lot on that child-friendly nature in season 1.
I don't know. I think season 1 is as perfect as you can possibly.
Oh no, they're good. They're good. There's some good shit in season 1.
I think there's one episode on season 1 that I'm not crazy about, and it's Feeling Peikikian, and I still kind of like that episode. But
for me, it's I think it's Ticketmaster, the one where they're arguing about who gets the tickets to the Grand Goblin Gala.
Oh, that's a good episode. I'm sorry, Muggity, but your taste might be shit.
Okay, we'll get off my podcast.
I'm sorry. Don't leave me on. I didn't mean it.
Fine.
I didn't mean to say that your taste is shit and that your opinions are bad and that you should feel bad for not liking the Ticketmaster. It's like in season 1, episode 3 of MLP.
It's okay. I know my opinions are good.
Have you seen any of G5?
I saw the movie. I was in group chat watching the movie. I had my issues with it, but for the most part, I thought it was solid. The show could not. I like to watch shows while I'm on the treadmill, and I tried watching an episode. Could not get 5 minutes into it. The animation, it is so bad. The lip syncing it's really so bad. Yeah. Oh my god! Like even the VAs, like the. I don't want to shit on the VAs, but like it could be so much better. I saw the clip of the villain. The villain is like the most try-hard, edgy shit I've ever seen.
She's very much. I actually don't hate the villain because she's just a Saturday morning cartoon villain, so it's like fucking whatever. I'm not gonna pretend like G4 was jam-packed with phenomenal villains. Because there's some G4 villains that are kind of bad too. Like, I don't like the Storm King very much. G5 is pretty fucking bad, and it makes me appreciate G4 a lot more.
The main thing that got me to actually just despise like the villain G5 was I saw the clip of her villain song, and the song the basis of the song is literally just, I'm the villain. I know I'm the villain. And I like being the villain. Like there's like giving her no value as a character.
I sing that sort of. That's what I sing to myself when I'm driving to work. I sing villain songs. Villain in my own life.
If you want a good villain song, like I'm the bad guy, like from Wonder Over Yonder. That's actually a good villain song where the character knows they're a villain, but like you have like you've like Lord Dominator, season 2, Wonder Over Yonder, good show. Sad it got fucking canceled. It deserved to keep going. You get like this season 2 introduces so much about Lord Dominator's character, what makes her great, what makes her fun to watch every time she's on screen, and they save her big villain song for the final episodes, and by that time you know her so well, it's just fitting for her. So like I think like the real issue is not the song. Opal, that was her name.
Opaline, I think.
Opaline. Yeah, the issue like isn't the song itself; it's the execution of it.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the music in general is not as good as it was before. Which even when G4 kind of started to slide into mediocrity around season 7, season 8, the music was always fucking good right up until the end. By the way, to answer the question that I asked you, I think my cutoff point for canon is around season 4, season 5. Like, that's kind of the point when I stop caring if I contradict things. But I think at the end of the day, no one really cares if you contradict canon if you're doing it for a good reason.
I mean, like, the actual show itself retconned itself multiple times.
That too, yeah. Like if your story is better because you did that, then no one seems to care.
Yeah, I'm all about so like when I'm like writing canon characters, I'm all about just like taking little references from the show and implementing into that into the character somehow. Not just like taking like big canon moments that happen, but like, you know, like the character reference is something in this episode. Okay, I can put a little character trait in here, just not shit like Silverstream's obsession with stairs, or the most overused joke in the fandom, Celestia really likes cake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're right. I should write a Silverstream story. Not that I've taken the sea pony pill pretty hard. Pretty much everything I write. Pretty much everything I write these days has to do with sea ponies. Just kind of become obsessed with them.
Sea ponies are awesome. I want to write more. I never know if I pronounced her name right. Is it Captain Solano?
Yeah, she's underrated. She's an underrated character.
I wrote porn of her. That's how much I love her.
Based.
Yeah, why? Because she's fucking hot. They like just look at her. Just look at her. How can you look at it and not tell me she's hot?
It's funny. I don't see much fan art of her, and I definitely haven't seen any fan fiction about her.
Yeah. Well, there's my recommendation. 1,000-Year Itch. Go read it.
Okay, I will.
Yes.
Bitch.
You out there in the audience. Yeah, I see you. I see you, Derek. Yeah, go read it. You'll like it.
Fuck you, Derek. Fuck you, Derek. You stink. You need to bathe more.
Hey, leave Derek alone. He's antisocial.
Derek, I didn't mean it.
No, okay. We love you, Derek. Okay. I remember way back in the day during your Barcast interview. What wasn't it, like 3 years ago, 2 years ago?
I think it was like 8 or 9 years ago.
It was not 8 or 9 years ago. I remember. Wow. Okay. I should have revisited for this podcast. Although I still remember most of it.
That's fine.
I remember it said you read a lot. Do you still read a lot?
Nah. But I kind of do. I'd say I haven't read a lot of fan fiction as of late. I just finished reading, or rather rereading, The Road by Cormac McCarthy.
That's a good book.
It's a fucking good book. It's a fucking depressing book, but it's good.
Yeah. So, I had a Secret Santa at my work last year. Technically just a few months ago, but I thought the person I got drawn mentioned they like reading, but when I went over it, it did not say that. And I also have this thing with my family. For Christmas, every year my family gets together, and we have this thing called Chinese Christmas, where everybody just gets like a random gift that goes to a non-specific person, and we each draw a number from a can, and we just go down the line. A person has the option to either pick a gift or steal a gift. And
Right.
I got sick that year, or when that happened. I got sick, I could not make it, and and then I realized very last minute I forgot to get a gift for Secret Santa. So I got so my gift to them was what I was going to use as my Chinese Christmas gift. It was a bunch of hot sauce from Hell's Kitchen.
Nice.
And I forgot what the other thing was. I think it was like one of those like crackers and cheese things. And I remember asking them like, hey, I also got this book for you. It was really just a book I got there. It was The Road. I got it from the thrift store. I already read it, and I have this habit where I don't really reread books, even though there are some that I want to reread. And
Right.
it is also say if you want the book, I can just give it to you. And so that was her gift. I gave her The Road by Cormac McCarthy, and I don't know if she read it or if she understood it at all.
That's like you might as well just give someone fucking antidepressants as a gift.
I should have just thrown that in the bag with it.
Book's a fucking
Yeah.
dreary fucking read. I like it, but yeah, that's a book that's very like casually influential. I feel like that book, when you actually read a lot of the stories that came right after, like The Last of Us and Walking Dead, I feel like that book might have been more influential than people give it credit for.
Yeah. I think well, I don't think, but I wouldn't be surprised if Fallout was inspired by it a little.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can see it.
I would really like to read Blood Meridian.
I've fucking been looking for that book forever, and I haven't seen a copy of it for sale in any of the bookstores I've gone. But apparently that's also an excellent Western novel.
Yeah. I listened to the audiobook. It's about you know what if you like, do you like Windy Goon?
I don't. I'm not. Holy mackerel!
He's a YouTuber. He's a really interesting YouTuber. He's been getting popular in recent years because like he covers like wild shit. Like he's okay. How can I describe Winnie Goon? The video that got him popular was like he discussed Bible mythology and biblically accurate angels and what they entail, and he discussed it all in this 1 hour video. I think it was multiple hours, and that's like the basis of what his videos covers. So like he's one of those people is like he's into conspiracy theories, he's into cryptids, but he doesn't come off as crazy. He comes off as a very wholesome dude who just wants to share some things he's really interested in. And he does a full-on analysis of the Blood Meridian.
Cool.
Yeah, and he does a podcast called Creepcast with Meet Kenyon, who you
yes.
yes
I don't meet him.
yes, it is a good podcast. They talk about famous creepypastas, and they recommend some good shit.
Cool.
Yeah, but what are some other books you've read?
Recently,
Yes.
I also read through Perdido Street Station semi-recently, which is a novel by China Myville. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that last name right, but that is a novel that I like how that novel is written in terms of how its prose is presented, because it's very gross. It's a novel about like a shitty city that is just full of filth, grime, and it's dirty and it smells bad. And the novel does not shy away from that, And it's interesting to read prose that is describing something that is ugly and dirty and smelly, but is very good at doing that in a poetic and interesting and almost beautiful sense. And it's a fantasy novel as well. So it's a novel I can very easily recommend as Perdido Street Station. That's like it's like a steampunk fantasy novel.
Nice. Have you read? We had a complaint from one episode. It's for Simeon's episode. I knew he was really into Wings of Fire, which I also dig that shit. We had a complaint from that episode saying we talked about Wings of Fire for way too long.
Sorry, what?
We talked about Wings of Fire for way too long. I think I know you're into adventure. You like character-centric stories. Wings of Fire is really interesting. I encourage you to get rid of it. Get rid of it. Get into it. Because it is a very fun series. It's a young adult novel, but like it kind of has this weird balance of being child-friendly and adult at the same time. So like you have characters like getting their heads cut off and like actual snapping necks and go into detail about like the neck snapping and yeah, and every single book takes place from a different character's perspective and explore. And usually how it works is it sets up its characters ahead of time in each book, and there's more often than not a character that you have little to no interest in, and by the time it gets to that book, you don't even want the book to end. You want to explore that character more, and then moves on to the next one. It makes it really interesting. That and
I always like when novels do that, where it switches perspective to a character who you initially have no interest for, and then the longer you spend with them, the more you start to care.
Yeah, that and all the characters are dragons, and that is fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Yes. So that is my recommendation for you, and it's an easy read. Each book is only like 300 pages. You can finish, depending on the person you are, you can probably finish that in a day.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah. I can't think of anything else. I haven't been good on the reading front recently. I am going to be starting college soon, and I'm probably going to do a bunch of required reading. But
that's a good thing. I had to do that too, and it's, you know what, it opens your mind. You read a lot of stuff that you otherwise would not have touched.
Yeah. Oh, the only thing I'm not looking for is, like, they're probably going to make me read a book in the span of a week, and it's going to be something like Charles Dickens. And when it comes to, like, people like Charles Dickens, I just want to take my time with them and just enjoy it.
Yeah, you don't want it to be like, oh, you got to read this word count under this time, and you got to get it done. And
you have to keep track of all the characters and the symbolism and that stuff.
Yeah.
You can't just enjoy it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'll probably get a favor from there. This would make for an interesting discussion. Okay.
Okay, can you just hold it for 1 second? My cats are being bitches right now. I'm just gonna go yell at them for a second. I'll be back in like 30 seconds.
Okay. Asha, make noise.
Burn. Yes.
I'm smoking on Bhutanese shadow garden grown dark evil.
This is the greatest podcast of all time.
He's pulling his cock out!
Is that it? Okay. Asha, why don't you tell me about your day?
No.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Never get cats. Worst fucking mistake in my life.
Yes.
Like I had a question. I don't remember. Okay, so we were talking about fucking writers. What was the last thing we were discussing? Do you remember?
Fucking Charles Dickens being a stupid, ugly hack fraud who has a
He's
good
ugly.
story to save his life.
He's ugly.
How do you ever trust an author with Dick in his name? Am I right?
Yes.
Fellow Charles Dickens haters, get in here. Actually written a Charles Dickens, or I haven't actually read a Charles Dickens story before.
I read a little bit of Tale of Two Cities.
Wait, did he write David? He wrote David Copperfield. Never mind, I wrote that one. I read that one.
I read some of Oliver Twist. I read like halfway through Oliver Twist, and it's good. Like I think his storytelling elements are ageless. Like he's very good at conceiving plots and exploring these characters, and especially interesting to read now, given because like a lot of his writing was about the social constructs of the time, and it's just interesting to see what that time period was like.
Yeah, when I was in university during my American literature classes, we had to read several stories by Mark Twain, and I was taken aback at how genuinely funny and entertaining Mark Twain's writing was.
Oh yeah.
Even though it's writing from the mid 1800s, it's aged surprisingly well.
Yeah.
And a lot of the writing style and the humor is still just very funny even today.
Okay, so one of the coolest things I own, and I should really get a better spot for it because it is something I need to take extremely good care of.
Mm-hmm.
I own a second edition Mark Twain copy of his essays, and it is actually signed by Mark Twain.
That's fucking cool as shit.
Yeah, it's probably worth a lot of money. I've been thinking about selling it because they can pay me through college, but I need to get it appraised first. No.
No, don't do it.
No.
Maybe. I mean, it'll probably get destroyed at one point if I keep it.
Yes.
You should burn it on live TV. Fuck
yes.
I can burn it right now.
Mark. Do it on the podcast.
I will. I'm burning
Your podcast will become the most pop.
You know, Mark Twain. Let me introduce you to Fahrenheit 451. Fuck! I wish I remembered that question I was going to ask because I thought it would lead into a really interesting discussion. Oh well, I got other questions.
Damn.
I was going to ask what your biggest writing influences are, but that kind of goes into who your favorite writers are. So, unless you got something to add to that, then I can just move on to a different one.
Yeah. I mean, again, China Miéville does come to mind as an author who has been very influential on how I've approached my own prose. I've that kind of opened my eyes to being like, oh, you can write gross shit or unappealing shit and make it appealing based on how you approach your own writing and how you present a scene and how you set up a scene is integral to how the audience themselves interpret it. Holy shit, there's like some bright lights going on. It's like a UFO outside my house right now.
Oh, I remember the question, but if you have more to say, go on.
No, go on. Ask the question before you forget it again.
Okay, so like we're talking about like college. I don't want to read books in the span of a week. I just want to experience them.
Yeah.
Okay, so like school kind of has the stigma where like it'll take like a classic book, and I want to say it will overpraise them to the point that the students cannot experience the literature for themselves. they're required to read it. They're required to experience it in the way the school besets upon them, and because of that, it makes it difficult to really appreciate the literature. Okay, I for one was lucky that To Kill a Mockingbird wasn't required reading in my school. I read that on my own, and it was great. I liked it.
I was in a similar state with Catcher in the Rye, where Catcher in the Rye was never actually required reading, but I wanted to read it.
Yeah, same here. I read Catcher in the Rye on my own, and I did not get it, but that's because I was a high schooler at the time. But if I reread it now, I'll probably be into it. So basically, the question is like some books you read in school that required reading you actually really liked, and you go back to them and you just go, I want to read more stuff from that writer. And
yeah,
I want to give mine real quick. There were two ones. Lamb to the Slaughter by Rhoda Hull and The Lottery. And that's an interesting one because Super Eye Patch Wolf just posted a video yesterday. It's called it's a really interesting video topic actually. So it's called Social Anxiety Horror, and it goes into like how social anxiety is a really effective use for horror, and he references The Lottery, and a lot of the stuff from this author is just fucking crazy because a lot of it revolves around social anxiety. And just maybe really want to get into more of her work. So like that said, like what are some books that was required reading in school that you just really appreciate still?
Off the top of my head, we had to read two books in grade 9 and grade 10 respectively by an author named S.E. Hinton, who wrote novels that were mostly about like 1960s and 1970s like Greaser scene, like the kind of 50s and 60s rockabilly culture almost. And one of them was That Was Then, This Is Now, and then the other one was The Outsiders. And I forget which years we read which books. It was like, I think grade 9 we read The Outsiders, and grade 10 we read That Was Then, This Is Now. And both of those novels kind of, they really resonated with me as a kid in high school because that's what they were about. They were coming of age novels about, 15, 16-year-old kids learning their place in the world. And that is the perfect time to read that sort of novel as you're kind of going through high school and you're starting to realize that this is the deal. This is what life is, and this is what you're in for. And those novels came out, or those novels, I read them at a good time. And then I would go back and I would think about them as an adult and realize that what I felt back then was well captured in those novels. It's so rare to read a novel that's written by an adult that there's the uncertainty of being a teenager so well. I think To Kill a Mockingbird does a good job of that as well, of being a novel about childhood that actually captures what childhood is like. Because most of the time when an author is an adult who's in their 40s and their 50s and they have to write a novel about being a child, they kind of miss the mark a little bit. They kind of have a very romanticized and nostalgic idea of what their childhood was like that's not entirely based on reality. So the novels that do capture that feeling really well tend to resonate more with me. And those two novels specifically, as well as To Kill a Mockingbird, which I think is every bit as good as it deserves to be, are all novels that I think kind of deserve their reputation as staples of American fiction.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Rumblefish is also fucking good. That's a good point.
What was it called?
Rumblefish.
Rumblefish?
Same author. Yeah, S.E. Hinton is a good author.
Nice. I don't think it's the best example, but like the Odyssey. I remember reading that in high school, and I think like the reason why like I grew an appreciation for that over time is just because I'm really into I'm really into mythology in general. That and there's this thing a friend forced me to watch that they're really into it. What is it called? I think it's called Epic the Musical.
Okay.
Not Disney's Epic. Somebody online like started a Kickstarter. They launched like this entire campaign. They took they took the story of the Odyssey and they're converting it into a musical, not like a play. It's mainly like an album, and it's just like it tells the story of Odysseus in a very and it kind of rewrites the story in its own way. And
I enjoy that.
Yeah, and a lot of the songs are actually pretty catchy.
A couple months back, in last September, I was in New York City for a week, and I went to Broadway. And you're in Broadway, and you have all these shows that you have to pick which one you want to go see because they're all like $300 for a ticket to go see a fucking Broadway show.
Oh God!
So you really gotta narrow it down and be like, which Broadway musical do I want to see the most? And I picked one called Hadestown, which is a retelling of the myth of Orpheus and Eurydice, which are two Greek figures in Greek mythology. And I really liked that musical. One, because I liked the setting. It took place in like a nightmare industrial revolution factory steampunk kind of setting. It was the set design of that musical was really well. And two, because I really like the story of Orpheus and Eurydice. And it's cool to see these kind of Greek classic, like these Greek mythos recontextualized within a more modern lens. I think that's always an ambitious and intelligent form of storytelling. And so the Odyssey as well is a story that has been told countless times in countless formats. Like I think even Oh Brother, Where Art Thou, the Coen brothers film, is just the Odyssey with set in the 1940s.
Interesting.
Yeah, no, it's interesting how many films and novels and various pieces of literature are just rooted in Greek classic mythos. Like so many, way more than you would think, are just based on Greek classics. Yes, it is by the Coens. It's one of their more underrated movies, I think.
Yeah.
I really like Oh Brother, Where Art Thou. It's like my third favorite Coen brothers film.
Burn After Reading is also very underrated.
Yes, and they never read it either. I didn't know that. I've heard a few times that the Coen brothers would not read source material that they were adapting. I could have sworn I heard that about No Country for Old Men, but that doesn't make any sense to me because No Country for Old Men is very, very faithful to the book. But I can totally believe it with the Odyssey.
Yeah, that and well, which was the Coen brothers stepped down was Ethan, right?
Sorry, what?
Was it Ethan Coen that stepped down as director?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, that and Joel Coen. I believe he just wrote. He was the writer on a Shakespeare screenplay recently, Macbeth.
Yep.
Yeah.
Did you ever have to read any Shakespeare in high school?
I don't think we read The Tempest. I think we read The Tempest. I know we watched the play version of it. My understanding is that is one of his easier plays to process.
Yeah.
The thing with Shakespeare is like Shakespeare like his his writing style is so unique, especially for the time period, that I want to experience him for myself. I'll probably be forced to read him once I'm in college. But
I would recommend. I think Macbeth or Hamlet.
Yeah.
Either of those stories are.
Yeah, he's very good at writing dialogue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, they stuck hard. They stuck hard to No Country. Yeah, I figured they did. Zigzag. I kind of assumed that. I think actually what I was thinking of was fuck, I'm drawing a blank now. But I know that they've done that a few times where they'll adapt the story and they won't follow the story to a T. But the Coen brothers in general are very kind of meticulous with their scripts. Like, I remember reading that Fargo. Every time you hear a character go or yeah or you betcha, that's all in the script. Like every single character tick is.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, who was the actor who went, "Hey, I think this is a typo," and one of the Coen brothers was like, "No, that's exactly how we wrote it." I know that was a thing during Fargo.
Yeah, I can believe it.
Yeah.
They don't like they don't like improvisation much. They don't like actors going off the script.
That makes a lot of sense because many of their movies are very condensed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think my favorite from them is Steel the Big Lebowski.
Yeah. Which is funny because Big Lebowski feels very off the cuff. Like that film feels very improvisational.
It does, yeah. Now you imagine you want like a lot of improv in that movie.
John Goodman is so fucking good in that film. I love him as an actor. And I love how he can be the fucking goofiest guy in a scene or the most terrifying guy in a scene.
Shut the fuck up, Donnie. Yeah. Okay. I think we... So you had more to say about Big Lebowski?
No, that pretty much covers it for me.
Oh.
That's all,
Okay,
that's all anyone has to say.
Okay, because when I said shut the fuck up, Donnie, I didn't mean you.
You're like, hey, shut the fuck up, dude. No one wants to hear you. I know I invited you onto this podcast, but shut the fuck up and be quiet.
Yeah, just to be fair, just be silent for a moment.
Okay.
Actually, several moments. Actually, just be quiet in general.
Be silent. Be quiet for several days. Be time to chew on these delicious chips.
I said shut up. I said shut up. You gotta keep the crickets going, man.
Burger King foot lettuce.
Oh my god. Okay.
Bruh.
You guys clearly can't commit, so let's move on. Okay. Got one more question here, and then we're gonna move on to cringe stuff.
Cool.
What is your favorite genre to write?
To write?
Yeah.
I keep saying I'm done with horror, and I don't want to write any more horror, and then I keep writing it. I like it a lot. It always fucking slips its way into my writing. I really like horror.
Oh yeah.
I think you get a lot out of it. I like writing characters, and I like writing character drama, and I like writing horror, and I think those two go well together. Because the best way to explore a character is to put them through hell, to fucking horrify the shit out of them. So yeah, probably in terms of my favorite genre to write, probably horror.
Same here. For me, it's either comedy or horror.
Yeah.
The comedy is like it's easy for me, right? If I can't think of what I want to do with the story, I just write a bunch of stupid shit until the plot kicks in. So like it comes naturally to me. Where like horror, I actually had to put in like some creative energy, but like it's a creative energy I appreciate because it really gets my juices going, and I try to think of something really outside the box to actually make the reader feel the fear.
I've had a few people send me messages on FimFiction asking me like if I hate Celestia or not.
For a synthetic.
Synthetic, and for like a few of my stories, because I write stories that feature her in very unsettling and disturbing situations. And they're like, why do you hate Celestia so much? And I'm like, she's actually my favorite character. I like her, and I like putting her in terrifying situations because I like to show that she is capable of overpassing them. And I think that's the strength of horror to me. And I think that's what good horror does. It's not about watching, like, I can't think of a time I've watched a horror film where I've enjoyed watching characters suffer. It's the enjoyment out of the genre for me is watching characters I want to see succeed out of overwhelming odds. Like, one of my favorite movies of all time is Alien. And Alien is the epitome of a character who overcomes overwhelming odds to be the last survivor in a situation. And I think that is the groundwork of a horror story that works really well, is you give a character that the audience wants to see succeed, and you watch them succeed despite everything.
That's just that, like, with the Alien, like that third act is really masterfully done, because like you got Ripley, and she's the final survivor. You know she's gonna live because she's the main character, but the movie still manages to up the suspense because it understands its pacing really well. Like that penultimate scene, like where like she sets the station to explode, and she has to walk through the station, and there's like no music going on. It's just pure ambience. You feel the suspense the entire time because you know that the alien can just pop its head out at any moment, and it just creates this this atmosphere that feels very authentic. It's
also interesting to me that, like you said, she's the main character, and she is, but she doesn't start off that way. She kind of becomes the main character as the film goes on.
Yeah,
and it's not like the film starts off and she is immediately established as the main character. She just kind of becomes that because the situation demands it.
Yeah, which makes the sequels weird. Respect to Aliens, that is also a good movie. Entirely different movie from the first one, to be fair. It does. I think she's killed off in the fourth one or something. I haven't continued the series after the second.
I think she's killed off in the third one. It's been a while since I've seen 3 and 4.
Yeah, I think.
And I don't really intend to rewatch them because I don't remember them being worth rewatching.
I may or may not watch the new one, but it's from the director of the Evil Dead remake, and it really feels like every time that guy makes a new movie, his movie gets overhyped. Like Don't Breathe, that was a really overhyped movie, and I watched that, and it was just above average. That's about it.
What's his name? Fede Alvarez, I think.
I don't know actually.
Yeah, no, it looks decent though. I'm like, that might not suck.
Yeah, well, like I saw that the trailer for it in the theater twice. I saw it when I saw Long Legs, and I saw it when I saw Deadpool, and both times I was like, this just looks like it'll be above average. Like it looks like it's doing the same thing, just slightly better than most.
Yeah.
Oh, that reminds me. I remember back in high school, my parents just gave me some money, and they said, "Hey, go watch a movie." And I don't remember what the other movie was, but like that my theater only plays two showings at a time. I don't remember what the other movie was, but I remember this movie called Life was playing, and yeah, and it's just like it's just like an Alien ripoff. It is very boring throughout the movie. Ryan Reynolds does nothing new. He plays the comedic relief character. He's very annoying, and thank God he dies first. And most of the movie is entirely forgetful. The ending itself is absolute trash. Like, holy shit! I'm just gonna spoil the ending because it is a trash ending. So like, one person there are two survivors. Okay, one person has to stay on the ship, and the other person has to use the escape pod. And the idea they're going for is, they're going to launch the last survivor back toward Earth, and they managed to lure the alien into a separate escape pod. So the one in the second escape pod, that is the second survivor. He's trying to distract the alien so the other one can live. Okay, the idea is they're gonna launch that escape pod into the void of space. Okay, it is so fucking stupid because the twist they went for was they launched the alien onto Earth, and the woman, the person who was supposed to live, into the void of space. So basically, the entire ending of the film happens because the main characters were stupid.
That's really fucking annoying.
Yeah, and at the end, the credit, I swear to God, this is the best part of the movie. The credits showed up, rock music played. There was only 2 other people in the theater, several rows behind me, and I could tell they're on a date or something, and the girl yelled, "That was gay," and I just burst out laughing. That was the best. That actually made that made a forgettable movie for a rememberable for me.
I remember when I went to see Last Night in Soho, is the film from Edgar Wright. There was like maybe 6 or 7 people in the theater when I went to see it. Which, I mean, I was seeing it in like 2021, so like theaters had just opened up past the pandemic, so it wasn't. It was a little bit dead already, but there was only like 6 or 7 people in the theaters plus me, and then by the time that film ended, there was nobody. I was the only one, and I'm like, I don't know if this. I feel weird being the only person left in this theater. Like, did I just watch trash and enjoy it?
No. Yeah. That's like an interesting experience. Like, that's something I find interesting about going to theaters, because like usually I actually don't see a lot of art films in theaters, even though I want to. But like I know how like the average theater goer is, so like chances are if I watch like a weird artsy movie that the average person isn't going to like, chances are once I'm walking out of the theater, somebody's going to be talking about how shitty it is, and I'm going to be going, man, that was really good. Yeah, it was kind of like that with Shazam. Yeah, I heard some people when I was I thought that was like a really fun movie, and I heard people talk about it, and somebody just said, yeah, that was a really stupid movie.
I think it's okay for a movie to be stupid if it's entertaining.
I mean, that's the point. The point of Shazam is it was channeling Sam Raimi's original Spider-Man trilogy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that is it for questions. We're hitting the final segment of the podcast. Doing the Patreon plug. If you want to support our podcast, if you want to see us keep going, give us your money, bro. It's like, dude,
yeah.
Like I don't want to work. I want money. Just if you got like some money you want to spare, like fucking steal some cash from your mom's purse and mail it to me. Do it.
If you give him money, he gets paid to talk about My Little Pony fanfiction.
Yes.
So, I mean, keep that in mind.
That is
that not the most base thing that any human being can hope to achieve?
That is the job opportunity of a lifetime. Like, come on. And also special thanks to MT Puffer for being our sponsor. I don't think am I forgetting anything else? Oh yeah, I gotta list the Patreon credits. Okay. Special thanks to Geodesic Dragon, Alex _ and MT Plot Filler. Thank you.
That's a good username. MT Plot Filler.
It's very lewd. Okay. Okay, so for like the cringe section, I actually didn't have any ideas for you, but I did come up with one while I was talking to. I fear you would have some good video recommendations, so send me the cringiest videos you can find for me to play in the podcast.
Okay.
I thought about showing a Pilot Redstone video, but that's too easy.
He's not really cringe. Just
it's still kind of disturbing, so it's somewhere within the wavelength of cringe.
Do we watch Trumpet Fight, please?
Trumpet Night.
Trumpet Fight. This girl linked it, and I love this video. This is, I think, my favorite video on YouTube.
This fight. Okay. Let me pull up and here. Let me. I'm gonna have to do some serious maneuvers around here.
Yeah.
I'm gonna use my forbidden technique.
This is I think I quote this video more than I quote anything else.
Okay, I'm gonna stream it for you guys so you don't have to go onto the stream to watch it.
Bitch.
There you go. And if you can, while we're looking at this video, see if you can find more, since this one's short, so I'll try to think of one too.
Okay.
Yeah, you suck! How dare you ruin it for everybody else? Get out! No! No, you go! I'm not going anywhere, shithead! Get the fuck out of my neighborhood! Get out! You know, honest.
Is that the troll I met under the bridge once?
Who the fuck are you?
You suck. I'm a left-handed guitarist. You suck. No! 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 You go. Get the fuck out! Get the fuck out! Get out!
What the fuck?
Where are you from? Where are you from? Go to a studio and rehearse. Maybe someday you'll learn. You suck. You're a no-talent piece of shit. You impose your lack of talent in order on everybody around you, whether they want you or not. Get out!
What provokes them?
I don't know.
I'm here 14 years. I've lived in this town my whole life. You're a disgrace. You suck. How dare you? I'm 3 blocks down. Who the hell do you think you are? Who the hell do you think you are? You any kind of artist? Anybody know who you are? Maybe everybody else wants to enjoy the peace and quiet. This is one of the most important places in all of North America. Who are you?
What?
Who are you? You miserable, presumptuous, no talent. You're no artist. An artist respects the silence. It serves the
he looks like a retired Oompa Loompa.
Very short, angry man.
Yeah.
You obviously don't have the talent. You don't have enough respect for yourself or other people, or what it is to express.
He looks like a meat canning
in
character.
music, we're in the form of creativity. And I'm an NYU film school graduate. Sucker.
Sucker.
And the School of Visual Arts. And the Academy of Art University in San Francisco. You suck. You're a no talent. If you really had talent, go practice. And then get yourself a gig. Instead of ruining the end of the day for everybody down here. You disgrace. You're everything that's gone wrong in this world. You're a self-consumed, no talent, mediocre piece of shit. And I've earned my right to say it. Okay? I had 200,000 people with Bill Graham. In 1975. I walked Bob Dylan up on stage. Who the fuck are you? I knew the Grateful Dead from 1966. Who the fuck are you? You nothing. You nothing.
You're nothing.
You are nothing. And you will never be anything. Never. How dare you? How dare you? You miserable, mediocre nothing. Shame on you.
What was a face? What was a face?
Pimp. Go more to play. Go more to play. You're flat. You can't even carry a fucking note. I don't care about your little, like, horn lip. This doesn't mean that you know how to play. You're flat. I'm trained classically. I'm trained contemporaneously.
All
And
right,
you
enough.
suck.
Go away. Leave me alone.
No! No. No.
That was an experience.
Yeah, the video's good.
Okay. Oh, I think I remember one. I think you sent this to me a while back. What? Why? Oh wait. No, it wasn't this one.
Oh god, I think I've seen this before.
No, can't beat that one. What's the one where he screams, "That's nothing!" Something like that. He's ranting about gamers. Okay, no. Yeah, there we go.
No, you're not a gamer. No.
Okay,
You
I've seen this
are
before.
not a gamer. I am so sick of all these people who think they're gamers. No, you're not. All right, and most of you are not even close to being gamers. I see these people saying, I put well over 100 hours in this game and it's great. That's nothing. That's nothing. Most of us can easily put 300 plus in all of our games. I see people who only have the Nintendo Switch and claim to be gamers. Funny. Come.
Man, I hope we get a new fucking chapter of Deltarune soon.
I believe there's slated to be an announcement later in the year, actually.
Oh fuck yeah!
Yeah, Toby Fox has talked about he let some friends preview it, and this was recent news, by the way. He let some friends preview the next two chapters. They said it was good, so I think his original plan was to release the all the chapters at once, because it's taking too long, he's going to release the next two chapters soon. I believe it's slated for 2025. I do not know.
Okay, that's sweet.
Yeah. Let's see, what else do I got here? Dino Tendies. Dino Tendies is good. Got some good shit here. What's some good shit? What's some good shit to play with Dino Tendies?
Dino Tendies. The good use. That's fucking cool.
The fucking. Is this the entire? Okay, it's not. I haven't seen this video. I don't know what's going on.
This reminds me of like some Alan tutorial shit.
Okay.
That's what my fridge looks like.
Yeah. Got the blood smear all over it.
Did you ever watch the Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared TV series?
I didn't, but I did see the YouTube series.
Okay, the fucking TV series is really good too. I recommend it.
I'll probably check it out.
It's only 5 episodes, and I'm really hoping they get.
I have no idea what's going on here.
That was a cool fucking.
Fucking cheese whiz.
Got a good beat, you can dance to it.
It's.
This is just a normal day in the life. I don't know what's so bizarre about this.
Yeah, it's normal.
Is this not what we all do? Our hard day at work at the long day factory.
I had kidney once. I tried making kidney, but there's a very specific way you're supposed to make it, or it tastes like shit.
Yeah, it's really good, but there's only like one way you can make it taste good.
Yeah, and I messed up that way, so it tasted like shit.
What the fuck am I watching right now?
I don't know.
That's pretty cool.
That was pretty cool. He said after witnessing like like a David Lynch horror.
I like how your videos are all trumpet guy now.
You know what? I got an idea of something we can watch.
Makes. Oh fuck yeah! I love this video. We're cooking quinoa.
We're cooking quinoa.
We're cooking quinoa.
This is iconic. I revisit it every time I make quinoa.
We're gonna.
No, fuck. It's a long video, so this will be the last video, and then we can end the cast.
Okay, look up. No, okay, I know what you should look up. Look up fucking. Look up. Okay, what's it called? Hold on, I'm gonna link it in the chat when I find it.
Okay.
Okay, look up Friday once again.
Friday once again?
Yeah, just go to YouTube, look up Friday once again.
Oh my god, this.
It's just the third one. Yeah, the third one.
And if
I love this video. I love this video. No, I didn't. Such an icon.
I love you, David Lynch.
Such an icon. I'm like, he's such a character.
Fucking awesome.
Like every time he makes a cameo in like Twin Peaks, he's just playing himself.
I love him in Louis so much.
He plays Louis' agent.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
he's like, here's the thing with that, champ. That's short for champion.
Yeah, but he is so like out there and weird. Like even his sense of humor reflects that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I need to finish Twin Peaks. I like how he intentionally waited what was it, like 12 years, 20 years to record season 3. Yeah, it's some wild shits. Okay.
So you brought up G5 earlier. I have a video for you both. Please send it. Please send me that video.
It's a Friday once again.
No, it's someone in our chat. It's empty plot filler in the chat.
Let's link it.
Link it.
It's possible. It's possible he did, just it won't let viewers send links.
Oh, that's true.
If you can't send the link, empty plot filler, just tell us the name of the video. That, or just DM us on Discord, because you have our Discord. Oh, shut up, make noise. While he's doing that, let's watch a Pilot Red Sun video.
Look up Pilot Red Sun, not so fast.
Here's my pride and joy.
Hey, I need some air. Point that air at me. Going to the glove compartment. I'm making taking a hard ride at Saratoga. See if they're still on us. No flipping away.
Just act natural.
Do you have any idea how fast you were going?
I'm pretty sure I was below 10 above the speed limit.
You got busted tail light, have you noticed?
I don't see anything.
Are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol?
Let me check.
I don't want to do this, but we gotta dump the Quaaludes.
What? What?
I love that.
It's like one of those games, like when you're a kid and like you're just like you're just exploring the internet and you're looking at games on Newgrounds and you find that random weird shit that kind of dramatizes you.
Look up. Never had a. I think I said it to you on Discord in the chat.
Oh, real quick, AMT plot failure sent the thing.
Oh my god, it's over for Reckless.
Never had a beard. I'll look at that in a second. Oh, you said 2 more. Okay. Color written by MC Plot Filler. Okay.
Play it. Play the video.
Is it not playing for you?
It ain't playing for me. I don't see shit, Captain. Oh my god, we're back.
Wait, is there copyrighted music on this?
Don't worry about it.
I mean, I'm kind of worried about it because it'll make it hell to it'll make it hell to edit around if YouTube's auto system detects it. Let me check the chat. The fucking what happened? Where's the okay, there we go. Oh crap, I don't have stream pull it up. What the fuck? Pretend this part of the stream isn't happening. Make noise. Thank you. Live. Okay. No, I want to go to the video. Okay, there we go. Okay. Okay. Sorry, I was just. Okay. Okay, I was just seeing what empty plot filler is. It's his music. Okay.
You need a second monitor, my dude. You need a second gamer monitor for all your gaming needs.
I mean, that's what the Patreon's for, so I can invest in better equipment.
Yeah, dude.
Okay. Fucking.
Like I have a separate monitor. I'm just watching Subway Surfers and Family Guy funny moments compilation in the background.
Oh, nice.
I've been doing that the entire time the podcast's been happening.
I have a TikTok pulled up my phone and I'm watching True Crime and there's a person at the bottom of the video pointing up at the video I'm supposed to be watching.
Yeah.
Oh, it's great.
Treat me more concerned with a bookcase. Is that who I am, or was I lost between the letters and
what the fuck?
It's fucking awesome.
I was only a child. I was spitting green flames.
Okay.
Saving the world before I even grew
fucking sub into you, empty plot filler.
Well, I'm glad that you could tell. I was still learning who I was, and I didn't know it then. But I can see just where I've been. I was poorly written.
Oh, that was hard. I fucking love this.
Over, I saved the Crystal Empire.
Man, the animation on those fucking Timberwolves fucking
fire, but everyone always throws a tantrum. No one can forget that I screwed up the Clydesdale anthem. That I'm incompetent as hell. Well, I'm glad that you could tell. I was still learning who I was, and I didn't know it then. But I can see just where I've been. But you can see just where I've been. I was poorly written. I was poorly written. These fan works do a better job of writing me. All these haters bring out my instability. Now I'm in G5.
My phone.
It's a total catastrophe.
God, yeah, his G5 design is so fucking bad. Doesn't even look like him.
See that I'm desperate as hell. Well, I hope that you can tell.
How do you feel about the dragon designs in G4?
They suck.
Yeah, you don't like the G4 dragons?
None of them are. No, in G5, they suck. None of them are fuckable like Princess Ember.
Yes. Can I just say, I think Spike is one of the more consistent characters in the show.
And that he's poorly written?
I don't even think he's that poorly written. I think he's consistently written as an immature teenager.
Yeah. It's just like, as an immature teenager, he's kind of annoying.
I liked, he was kind of a refreshing part of the later seasons where he was the fucking sanest one in the room.
Yeah.
I just can't fuck with G5's animation, man. It really does ruin it for me.
How far into the timeline is G5?
It's not specified. It's like they're like, oh, it's many moons in the future, which can mean fucking anything.
Okay, so in the show, we got Chad Spike. It's like, this show isn't even it's tying into the timeline of G4, and they can't even get his design right.
Yeah, I just don't think about it.
I'm thinking about it.
They don't want you to do that.
Nice.
That was nice.
That was cool.
Good, I like that. I went hard. Thank you, empty flat filler.
If it had a physical body, I would fuck it.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know about that, but you know, that's it.
I just realized I had a separate screen. I had the image of the cats in the bathtub pulled up for the stream, so the viewers didn't see it.
No, they got to see the image of the cat in the bathtub. They got to see the death of Murray cat.
They still got good content. They still got good content, nonetheless.
I also like how you can no longer see my picture. I'm supposed to be the guest here. You can't even see my picture anymore.
My podcast with Muggany right now.
You've taken it over.
Hello.
Claimed.
It's me, Norris the Spider.
Okay.
Yes, I do like riding ponies.
Based.
Shut up, Oddshot.
And making my character suffer.
Yep.
I'm known to do that.
Where do you get your ideas?
Sometimes I watch a little show called Tell Your Tale.
Yeah.
Probably my favorite show.
It's a good show.
I can't stand for this slander.
I just realized what time it is. I'll do one more video, the ones you sent.
Yeah, do it.
Yeah, because I got 10 minutes, so I had to go into work.
Okay.
Okay.
Watch the 2 incredible videos I sent you. The peak of YouTube comedy.
Okay. No, I should pull it. I should pull this up on the other screen here. There we go.
I love you, Neil Breen.
I love him.
Baby, you want a party?
No thanks, I have a girlfriend.
Hey, look at this. Hey, what the fuck? You shaved. What the fuck is going on here?
I never had a beard. Beard. Beard.
What?
Never had a beard.
Oh, we're totally gonna get copyrighted now.
I've never had a beard. Never had a beard. What?
What?
What? I never had a beard. Never had a beard. Never had a beard.
So cool. Have you seen his new movie?
I haven't, but I want to. Kate, the Torture Crossing, right?
Yep,
You know what? Yeah, for the final video, I'll put on the trailer for Kate, the Torture Crossing, and then we'll do the closing.
Good idea. Good. Do it.
He did it, but I hit him too. I hit him first. Please don't blame him. I left him. It's not his fault.
That was amazing. That is amazing. Yeah. That was a masterpiece. That was my favorite. Oh yeah, fucking Joe Rogan had a new special. I've been meaning to check that out.
Don't get distracted. Come on now. We want to watch Neil Breen here.
Hey, we're gonna watch the new Joe Rogan special instead.
No. Yeah. There it is. Oh my god, look at that fucking title font.
It's so amazing. It's so impressive. How does he do it? How does he do it?
How do we debate his brainiacs?
He's a brainiac. He's a brainiac.
I think together
brainiac on the
we
floor.
can make a success.
I love how the person is clearly fake.
They are.
He had to Photoshop himself on stairs. Like he couldn't film himself on stairs in real life.
We will never let them down.
This youth trafficking is disgusting. We had 2 more last night.
Mental hospital. It's just called mental hospital.
Yeah.
I sent this to my dad and I said, this looks really good. We should go see it. And the next day I was riding in the car with him and he suddenly remembered it and said, I thought you lost your mind when you sent that to me.
What the hell's going on here?
Look how big that fucking wheelchair is compared to the person beside it.
That's not good enough.
That's not good enough. God, this is amazing.
It's so good. Oh my God.
I like how the trailer is just a highlights reel.
It's a highlight reel of the biggest budget shots of the film.
Yeah. It's a 5-minute long trailer, or almost a 4-minute long trailer.
I know, and it only feels like 30 seconds. That's how good it
I want
is.
to see where my money's been going.
Not in this movie.
Don't let them hurt me anymore.
Megan, what do you know about the patient trafficking that's going on here? What do you know about the gene editing research? You must know something.
Okay, I just want to point something out here. The shadow effects here are actually pretty good. Good job, No Brain.
Where all the money's
There's
going,
been a huge
man.
increase in the amount of kidnapping of the youths and runaways that are being used for medical testing.
Guy's got a
We'd
funny
like you to
voice.
keep a lookout for any irregularities that might happen at your lab.
We can make a difference with their coming. We will make a difference.
Why did he say?
Oh shit!
That's so fucking cool.
Yo! Oh my god! Yo! Let's go!
This is basically just Cyberpunk.
6 new patients this week.
Basic Cyberpunk edge runners be like.
We can't afford to lose any. Patients are money.
Wherever there's an injustice, I will be there. Wherever there's a fight, we will be there. I will never forget.
Oh, that's nice. That's fucking cool. Fog effect.
They are coming for you, my
So cool.
warriors. This is what I've been preparing you for.
Go, 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 go! Oh, that's badass, dude.
That was so amazing. That was so amazing.
I've never seen a movie trailer that like it just ends so abruptly.
It is. How can I put it into words?
It really twists my pear.
It really twists my pear. It cated my torture crossing.
Tortured my crossing.
Did I pull it? Ah, fuck! I pulled it up on the wrong screen. What the fuck? Okay.
Such a dork.
So the stream just the people watching the stream just listen to us make noises basically.
Yeah, they heard us losing our minds over Cade the Tortured Crossing.
Oh,
You're gonna have to stream the entirety of the film for your Patreon supporters.
Oh well. Okay. I'm just reading chat real quick. Okay. Alright, time to do the outro.
Yeah.
Let me display that cat. Kitty.
Get the cat back on screen.
There we go. Fixed it. Okay. This has been SnarkCast with NorristhePony.
Hi.
And Oddshot.
Help me out. I didn't do anything.
I have been your host, Muggany. Thank you for watching.
Bye-bye. Goodbye. Farewell.